He kind of walks around, he thinks he owns the place. It looks like we got the most energetic British bulldog in the world.
I mean, I'm not even encouraging this, but he's just all over me. What we need to do is settle him down. We've just got to get rid of those. We replace them with silicone balls.
No. They do look smaller than his, though.
They're slightly compressed because they've been in air freight.
Come here. No. Elroy, come here. Come on. Sorry. No, Elroy. Sorry, I know you probably want to eat your food in peace, but he's not very good, sorry. Elroy is only 10 months and he's gorgeous, but he's getting out of hand now that he's getting a lot bigger. Sorry. I bought his breed thinking that, you know, he was a lazy sod, but it looks like we got the most energetic British bulldog in the world. Come on. Because he's getting bigger, he's so much harder for me to control. He's so strong, and if he's on the lead, he pulls me. Like, he's walking me, I'm not walking him. You know, now it's got out of hand and he's just annoying, really. Elroy! Sorry, he's so annoying. Elroy, you're not allowed to do that. I want to get him under control because it's embarrassing to take him for a walk and let him off the leash, and I don't want people to feel uncomfortable to stop and talk to me. He's a nuisance, sorry. He would not hurt a fly. I've never once in 10 months owning him encountered him being aggressive with a human or another dog. Come on, Elroy, come. He kind of walks around and he struts his stuff. He thinks he owns the place most of the time, and he kind of does. Me and my partner definitely do feel differently about Elroy and his masculinity. I would like to have him desexed. He doesn't want him desexed. I think it's his pride being damaged as well, really. He likes the look of Elroy being this big, strong, tough guy with rather large testicles. And I think, you know, he might have what he doesn't. I am extremely keen to calm him down and get on top of this. I'm hoping that, you know, Chris might be able to help me.
Oh, the face of the Bondi Vet.
Good. You too.
Yeah, it's good to see you too.
He's being a nightmare again.
Yeah?
Yes.
So he's getting worse, or is he still doing all the bad things he's been doing?
Yeah, he's still doing it, running on people and jumping on people and being his normal old self, really.
Yeah. I know how much you love him, and I know you want to do everything you can for him, but this is just too much, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I'm not even encouraging this, but he's just all over me.
Yeah, he's still gorgeous, but it's harder now because he's so much bigger and stronger.
When he was a puppy, he was cute, but everything was done in a puppy way. It was gentle, but now he's big and he's boisterous, and you know, in the nicest possible way. He's beastly. You know, he almost knocks you over when he comes up to give you some love. What we need to do is settle him down. Is really calm him down and just lower that excitability, lower that boisterousness that he has.
How?
The first step.
That's what I want to know.
But the simplest and most logical step is the fact we've just got to get rid of those.
Yeah, I know. I'm all for that, but it's just convincing someone else in my household that it is the logical way.
Yeah. And so your boyfriend's a little bit against it, as a lot of men often are?
Yeah, I think he likes how manly he looks.
He's not going to calm down while they're there, and that's the unfortunate thing. But in terms of your boyfriend's wishes, in terms of maintaining his manhood and making him look masculine, there is an option.
Yes. Tell me more. I need to know.
There's an alternative.
Yeah?
A few years ago, a very inventive guy actually invented something called neutrals. They're essentially replacement testicles. So we castrate him and we remove that testosterone, but we replace them with silicone balls.
No.
Seriously. So,
who thinks of these things?
Funnily enough, Americans.
Oh my God.
They come from America, and it's a really simple procedure. We just castrate him and we replace them with these silicone testicles. He wakes up from the anaesthetic not knowing anything different. He's still got little balls there, or in his case, big balls there, and he looks the same dog. but he won't act the same dog. He'll be a lot calmer.
Yeah.
And given a few weeks, once those hormones leave his system, this whole boisterousness, this whole over-the-top attitude that he's got will calm right down. So it'll actually take his behaviour to a better level. So instead of racing up to people and grabbing the hold of them and wanting to be their best friend whether they like it or not, he's then going to be the dog that just takes it easy, goes up to them and says, "Hi, how you going? I'm Elroy. You might like to meet me. I'm a good-looking kid. I'm from Bondi." And just take it easy that way.
Yeah.
So we haven't really got any other option apart from castration, but I guess we can sweeten the deal a bit by having these replacements, these silicone neuticals. So maybe that might help convince your boyfriend.
I think it's going to be a good alternative, and I don't think I can keep listening to both the men in the house. I've got to take charge, you know.
CTA Neuticals.
Hi there, it's Chris Brown here. I'm a vet from Australia.
Hi, Dr. Brown. How are you, sir?
I'm not too bad at all. Now, you're the man to talk to if we're looking for silicone testicle implants for dogs.
Yes, sir. This is Neutical Central.
I've got a dog in mind that I think it'd be perfect for the implants. He's a bulldog. His name's Elroy. How do I go about working out what size he requires?
Well, we need his age and weight.
He's 9 months old and weighs 21 kilos.
Normally, bulldogs are well endowed compared to other dogs of similar weight.
And I can assure you he fits that mould perfectly. He's a big boy, so to speak. The owner's boyfriend is very concerned about making sure that his true size is preserved. Now, I risk death basically if I put in a set smaller than they actually are. Can you reassure me that we're going to get the size right
We
here?
have 11 different sizes. They come in literally quarter-inch increments. So, I mean, we can get it down to a gnat's knee, I'm telling you.
Now, tell me, is there more than one, I guess, model of Neutical? Can you?
We have actually 4 different models. He can literally be restored to anatomical preciseness.
So it's the full package, so to speak, Greg.
It's a work of art, I'm telling you. When he wakes up, he won't know anything's missing, and everything will stay the same.
So if Elroy's 21 kilos, which is 46 pounds, and we're looking, what would that make us?
He would definitely be our medium size.
Okay, all right, that's fine. Greg, look, what we're looking at, I think we'll go for the Ultra in the medium size for Elroy.
We can get that order out today. Orders placed today, go out today.
Okay, cheers, buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, mate. Bye. I guess I'm reassured by the fact that he's got the sizing right. He's got so many different models that we can absolutely tailor what he has to what Elroy has or is soon not to have. So, it's one of those conversations I never really thought I'd ever have in my life. Sitting there talking about silicone testicles. How you going?
Hi, I've got a package for Chris.
That is me.
There you go.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers, bye-bye.
I just can't believe they're finally here. This is hilarious. They were opened for inspection by quarantine. I can't really blame them. I think that'd be quite a strange package to have come through international posts. My biggest concern is they're just not big enough because our boy, he's a big boy. So here they are. Elroy's Neuticals, individually wrapped, which is nice. So we can't actually open them because they're sterile. So they have to go from this packaging straight into Elroy. They have a standard size for a dog his age and his weight. I think that feels about right. I know there's concerns in the Brie camp that we're going to downsize him, but I can assure her that what goes in will be what came back out. So Elroy's big day, well, it isn't too far away. Now this looks like the Neuticals instruction manual. This is so bizarre. I've castrated thousands of dogs, but this is it's almost like IKEA. They give you numbers to follow to make sure you get the implant in the right way. I just hope it's not like IKEA where they sometimes forget just one crucial part. So strange.
Good boy, Elroy. Very big day for Elroy and I. I'm actually really excited about it because I feel like it will be just so much relief at home and on our walks, and I'm hoping it will make a difference, yeah.
I can hear him coming. Hello, bro.
Hello.
Good
How
to
are
see
you?
I'm good.
Yes.
Hello. How are you? It's his big day.
It is.
In more ways than one, huh? You're generous.
I'm very excited.
So you should be. And how's he been?
Yeah, he's been pretty bad, so just really eager to get this done. There's absolutely no question in getting it done in the end, so it was kind of me taking control and went, yep, getting him desexed.
You just laid down the law.
And yeah, well, he kind of said, okay, well, as long as he gets his plastic surgery.
So it wasn't hard convincing your boyfriend that silicone was the way to go?
I think every man likes silicone anyway, but he loves his personality, but he does realise that he's out of control.
Yeah.
So it's definitely time to do something about it, isn't it, mister?
You are a wild child, aren't you? These have travelled 16,000 kilometres to be here, and they're now about 16 centimetres away from where they're going to end up. So these are them. So,
Oh my god.
yeah, so
Ridiculous. They're kind of, I don't know.
don't say small. Don't say too small.
They do look smaller than his
they're
though.
slightly compressed because they've been in air freight.
Okay, cool.
I think,
So they will expand.
yeah, once they're in.
Okay, good.
And you've got to realise that the ones he's already got are already wrapped in skin and other things. So
Yeah.
I was worried you were going to say they look small. Do you realise
They
the pressure
do.
I'm feeling to make sure that these match up?
Yeah, I know. They're kind of.
But look, if you just I don't like to do this, but if you compare there,
Yeah.
once they've got skin around them, we're in the same ballpark. The thing is, if I put in something that's bigger, it ain't going to go in.
I know. Okay.
Look, I think you will be happy when you see the
Okay.
results. Do you think your boyfriend's going to be happy with the size?
Yeah, look, I think he'll be happy with the size once they're in and they've got a bit of swelling to them and skin surrounding them. So,
Yeah, it should be fine. I mean, look, I spent a lot of time and made a lot of calls, international
I
calls,
know.
to make sure that these sizes matched up.
you're a good man.
Okay, I stand by my results.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to seeing them.
What do you want to say a little goodbye to him?
Yeah.
See him later on today.
Are you free? Bye. See ya.
All right, we've got everything sorted now.
Come on now. Come on.
So just have a listen to his heart, make sure it's all sounding okay. Any dog with a flat nose is a real, I wouldn't say nightmare, but a real challenge to anaesthetise.
Come on, Ellery. Good boy.
I guess the thing is that even though it's a slightly comical operation, there's a very serious side to it because he's going to be very tricky to get under anaesthetic and then keep her under anaesthetic and then also recover from anaesthetic because this area through here just doesn't breathe very well. So once that tube comes out, we have to be very careful to watch how he breathes. Okay, that all sounds fine. I just don't really want to give him too many sedations to settle him down because it's actually going to make the anaesthetic a little bit more dangerous for him.
Good boy, Elroy. Good dog. Good man. Good boy.
And before you go off to sleep, just let me tell you this. We're actually about to castrate you. Yeah, I know. I hadn't told you until now, and it's cruel to tell you this late, but it's true. You're getting big ones in replacements, though. So this is the basic plan of what we're trying to do today. So he's got his two little balls there, or large ones. What we do is we actually make a cut about there, around there. We then push these two out, tie them off, pull them out, and then these guys come in and get basically put in the same hole that they come out of, and hopefully they should sit pretty much the same way. So the way they go out is the way they go in, through a very small little slit. Pretty simple, or so it seems. Dogs will typically lose heat during anaesthetic. I just want to make sure it's not too much.
So we've got our first testy there. Now, this is where our normal operation that we normally do is different, because normally I'm just taking it out, but now I've got to be pretty conscious of actually getting it out and leaving enough room to get it back in as well. So first things first, let's castrate it. So that's one out there. All right, Mel, can you get me the first of the nudicles thing?
Yes, with pleasure. Stop.
Okay. All right. It is a very strange feeling. It does almost feel a little bit liquid, but I guess that's what it's all about. It's got to feel quite lifelike. So if any wives are sitting at home looking at this, thinking that maybe their husband could go through a similar thing, think again. It's not that easily done, thank you very much. Now this is the hard thing, because the way you put them in is the way they've got to sit. And they've got to sit like that, with the curved edge down as opposed to upside down. That'd be very hard to explain if they're upside down.
Yeah.
So.
You can sympathise with plastic surgeons.
It's certainly more difficult than you might think. I mean, I think I said it before, it's a simple matter of pulling one out and putting it straight back into the place it came from, but it's tricky, and certainly by keeping Bree's boyfriend's wishes of making sure that the size matched up, we probably almost overestimated his size. Once you take that testy out, the space that it came from really just disappears, so you've almost got to recreate that cavity and then squeeze this very soft and jelly-like lump of silicone into place, and it's proving quite a challenge to get this one in. So now we've got the nudicle in place, we're just going to stitch it closed. It's just so tricky though, because everything's so slippery, and it's made the surgery actually very, very difficult. Sizing's pretty good there. You couldn't really tell which is the fake one, which is the real one, and as they say, if you can't tell the difference, that's what it's all about. So I've got one done, and now it's on to the second one. Now with the benefit of experience, I'm now a qualified silicone surgeon, this one should hopefully be a little bit easier. The tricky thing now is actually just getting the orientation of it right, because you don't want the, sounds a little strange, but the curved side up. You want a nice little gentle curve at the bottom of Elroy's bits. There we go. That's good. These ones are a second to none. They're the top of the range testicles, and I don't think Bree would have it any other way. I would say that Elroy is actually going to be the first in Bondi to have these. Now, it's not often you can claim to be the first to do anything in Bondi, so Elroy should parade these with pride. So this is the final magical part where we're going to push the last one into place, and I'm just going to make it sure it sits in the right spot there. Once we've done these stitches, then we'll let Elroy wake up, and from there then he's going to wake up to find something has changed, but in a way something stayed the same as well. Oh, it's so heavy. On Elroy. Coming around from the surgery pretty well. He's still a little bit groggy, but that's to be expected, and probably the next few hours he'll wake up gradually and be in a little bit of discomfort. Obviously we have performed a fairly major operation on him, but he's on some good anti-inflammatory medication, also antibiotics, so that should make the next few hours a lot more comfortable for him. Go on, come on. There you go. Look who's here. He's in about first gear compared to fifth gear normally, but he's going well.
Hey, mate. Oh, he is very, very gross, isn't he?
Very sleepy.
This is not Elroy.
Oh no, it's
Elroy.
part of it's certainly not Elroy, but he's going to have a little bit of swelling, but just because of the fact he has been castrated as well. Mm-hmm.
But you can see it's pretty simple. We just make a little cut here,
Yep.
just there, and then the old ones are taken out.
Yep.
And the new ones go in the same little hole there.
Yeah, right.
In the long term, you won't be able to tell the difference.
Oh my God, I can't believe how still he's been.
Dog, isn't it?
I have never seen him this
Have you
still.
seen-
What have you done? you can't sit down properly. Poor little thing.
I've never seen him this still before.
No, not even when he was a puppy, huh?
Do you think when you get home, your boyfriend could actually tell the difference? Obviously, you know it's being done, but do you think he's going to be happy with how it looks?
Yeah, I think so. I can't even tell. So I hope that he
We
can't.
talk about size.
Size is
okay?
perfect. Size is perfect. Well done, Chris.
Thank
You did a good job.
Yeah, and look, the most important thing is that from now on, we should see a very slow and gradual improvement in his behaviour, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
He'll be fine. He's through the worst of it now.
Thank you, Chris. It's awesome. He's a
You
bit
take him
cocky.
home, let him sleep.
I know.
fine.
I
Even
can't
those
wait to
medications.
get him home. Oh,
I can't wait
oh,
to stop.
he's still.
I'm
on
just going
the
to be
go.
happy not to make any testicle jokes for at least a few weeks. Pretty much done my quota for a couple of years, actually.
Yeah. You're quite the comedian the last couple of weeks, Chris. Something I've never known about you.
You actually way too kind there. Bye, Breza.
you.
No
See
worries.
ya.
See you later.
Come on, mate.
See you, mate.
Come on. Good boy. Come on. Come on, Melroy. He's been amazing. Like, I honestly can't believe it. He's definitely learnt to obey my rules a little more, which is really good. I'm really happy because I can take him everywhere now with me. That's how much of a difference he is. I mean, he's still very playful and he still loves people, but I guess he's just more chilled. So as time goes on, you know, there'll definitely be more change and he'll start to obey more. Good boy, Elroy.
I think it's fair to say it's probably the most exclusive residence you'd like to do a house call to. It's very flash.
She's looking forward to your visit, I'm sure. Always
me
loves
blush.
a cuddle
That's good.
from
I
Chris.
always get nervous whenever I see my special lady.
Yes.
Well, there she is now. Looking good too. How do I look? Am I okay?
I'm sure she'll be impressed.
Oh, she's
She's
still got it.
ready, she's ready.
What a lady.
Lady's been here with us at Vaucluse for a long time. The head gardener remembers when Lady arrived, and he's now in his 18th year of service, so we think that Lady must be the second longest serving employee of Vaucluse House.
How's she been lately?
Oh, she's still a little stiff, Chris, but you know, we were hoping you could just check her over and reassure us that, you know, it's all normal for a girl of her age.
She looks like a few ladies I've seen after, you know, big day at the races when they're a bit sore in the feet. She's got the splayed legs there.
Yeah, they do bow out a fair bit, don't
Yeah.
they? But she gets around all right when she needs to.
You can actually see how her front hooves are bent over, which makes her walk like a muscle man or I guess a muscle lady. Now, the issue with that is that she's actually going to start wearing down just one side of the joint, and eventually arthritis is going to take hold, and she may, in the future, just not be able to walk at all. Now, Naomi, is that a smile of excitement that she's seeing her favourite man, do you think, or
I'd call that poking her tongue out, Chris.
just delighted?
I think she's being cheeky.
Let's try and catch her and see how she.
All right,
Now she's
let's give
looking
it a
up close.
shot.
This is always tricky, isn't it?
Isn't it? Well,
Now, every time I come and see Lady, it's always the same old game. I've got to catch her, yet it's easier said than done. Shown up by a 19-year-old goat, that's a bit embarrassing, come on. In some ways, I feel sorry for her. She's this old goat and she's got this big vet chasing around a paddock. But you look at her face, and I assure you, half the time, she's laughing at me. Okay, you want pace? I'm gonna give you pace. I seriously reckon I've used up some of my best ever rugby tackles on the old girl. There we go. Might just get my breath back first, girl.
there's love there.
I just think it's incredible how old Lady is. Goats in the wild will only live to around 7 years of age, whereas Lady's 18 or even 19. She's got to be some sort of record breaker. Oldest goat in Australia, oldest goat in the world, who knows, but she is incredible. Okay, let's bring her over here. And what we'll do is we'll just put her on a side here. Now, she's an old girl, so I don't do it too rough, but there we go. If you can just get you to hold those bottom legs there.
Yeah, like this.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, she's pretty relaxed.
She is.
She likes you.
Maybe not quite as much as she did before after that. Let's have a look, girl. She's got it's a beautiful smile, isn't it? She's now 18. It's great she's actually still got her teeth, because a lot of them wouldn't even have teeth left.
And her eyes are nice and clear, so
Yeah,
she's
her
got
eyes.
full sight.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, she's doing okay. Her eyes are clear, her teeth are pretty good, and those horns, yeah, they're still beautiful and sharp. Just the issue is those front legs. The arthritis is still making her quite stiff and uncomfortable. So what have you noticed? You've noticed she's limping?
Well, just that she, seems to really take her time getting up from the ground. It seems that she's quite stiff when she stands up from a sitting position. And then, the first few steps she takes, she'll limp a little before she kind of gets going.
Yeah. The first thing you can see is the hooves have really bent over.
Sure.
Now, the hooves are always going to grow, and what they normally do is grow straight down.
Right.
But because of her posture, the weight's actually not going through the hoof evenly, and so it's pushing the hoof growth off to one side. Now that's a problem, because when they are bent over like that, the weight doesn't go through this joint, or this joint evenly. It's pushed off to one side. And as she gets older, things like arthritis can really become an issue. And if she's putting all her weight through just one side of the joint, then that's going to be a big issue for her.
Oh dear, lady.
We'll just have a feel of each of her joints here. That joint there is really stiff.
There doesn't seem much movement.
There's just almost none at all. I mean, you can maybe, see the difference there? See that one there? There's a lot of movement there. Then you go to this one, and that's it.
Yeah.
Just years and years of, I guess, being a goat. It's nothing that could really have been prevented. It's just the fact she is actually living so long that her joints are getting a little bit worn out. So the cartilage has been worn down as a result. Extra bones produced, the joint becomes a bit fibrosed, a bit seized up. So, look, hopefully we can help that out today. What I might do is actually do something that we normally do on horses.
Okay.
She doesn't look like a horse, I know, but it's actually a nerve block. So I'm going to inject some local anaesthetic down the back of this leg here. What it's actually going to do is absorb into the nerves and block out any pain, any discomfort coming from the bottom part of these legs here. If you can eliminate any pain coming from down here, then how she walks is how she'll walk if we can eliminate all the pain from that leg.
Oh, fabulous, okay.
If you can just hold her there, just keep hold of those bottom legs there. So I'm now going to use a nerve blocker, which is something we normally use on horses. The idea here is just to numb out one particular area of her leg. If then she walks normally, then that's where the pain's been coming from, and that confirms our diagnosis that arthritis has been the cause all along. All right, so all I need to do is just give her a little bit of a shave down the sides here. On both legs. Now, what we do is we get some local anaesthetic. Just drop a few mils of that. Let's clean up the skin here, get rid of any bugs. We inject the local anaesthetic right next to the nerve.
Okay.
And the nerve for the hoof here runs, there are two of them, they run down either side of the back of the leg there.
Oh, she's a good girl.
I just inject a luff anaesthetic around the back of that, and then on the other side. What we'll do, we'll just give that a chance to sink in and soak in around the nerve there.
Yeah.
Once that does, then obviously we're going to block out any of the messages the nerve to the bottom of the foot here is going to send around. It's almost falling asleep. All right, so she can stand up. You can get up, girl.
Up now.
Up you get. Do you want to get up or?
No, she says keep massaging.
Come on, up you get. There you go. So it'll just take a little while. And how's my girl going?
Mercedes has settled right in. She's been making friends with the ducks.
There's actually an added bonus when I come to see Lady. One of my former pets actually lives here. Mercedes the chicken.
The other chickens weren't as welcoming, but the ducks certainly seem to have accepted her.
Had nothing to do with the way I brought her up, the fact she thinks she's a duck, Naomi. Mercedes actually lived with me in my last house in Bondi, which had this big backyard. She used to lay so many eggs, but when I moved, I had to find a new home for her, and I thought Vaucluse house would be perfect. Now, Naomi, I've got to ask, what has happened to my chicken?
Oh, she's grown up a lot, hasn't she?
She hasn't grown up. She thinks she's a duck. I still think she actually feels bad about the fact I left her when I moved house. I had no choice. Come here. No way to greet your father. Huh? She's no spring chicken.
No spring chicken, another old girl.
She's got a good party trick though, hang on. We'll put her over in the shade here. The ducks see this, they might never accept her in again, but you ever seen a chicken hypnotised?
I've heard that you can do it.
Yeah. So what you do is you lie them flat. You tuck their head in and you just stroke them down the middle.
So this obviously isn't distressing her.
No. Feel her heart's very relaxed. They can pick up when people are being cynical or in any way sceptical as well, so that never works.
You have to have faith in this party trick.
You do.
You can do this to any chicken.
Yep. And you go slower, and slower, and slower. She's now just dreaming of those beautiful times we used to spend together, reminiscing.
How long will she stay like that?
Long enough.
And that's a hypnotised chicken.
Yep. Hypnotising chooks is a real art form. They might look as though they fight it a little bit at the start, but eventually they enjoy it. They go into this deep state of relaxation. And I've got to say, Mercedes is one of my best subjects. Mercedes, you're making a goose of yourself. Get up. That's raised the curiosity of those ducks. We've never seen that before.
Oh, look at that running.
See, she's going okay though. I think she's definitely moving more freely.
I'd have to agree. Which way are you going to go?
Naomi, you've learnt. Look at that.
I used to just go for the horns. I've now realised it's more of a matter of body weight,
There's
isn't
no
it?
point being gentle around here. Okay.
You got her?
Yeah, I've got her. So I'll walk her over here. Come on, over here. There you go. Walk with me. So that was pretty important to see, because what it showed us is the fact that certainly she walks a bit more freely when the pain's taken away. So that indicates she's most likely got arthritis there.
Yeah.
But you see, she still has that difficulty walking because her hooves are off balance. They're really angled in. So,
Can we trim them or something?
Well, desperate times call for desperate measures. And you might be a bit surprised by this, but we're actually going to call in the heavy artillery.
What do you mean?
You'll see. You just come with me. Come on.
Okay.
The other plan of attack is something, well, a little left field. If she's a lady, she'll love this.
Okay.
You ready, girl?
Big surprise coming.
Yeah, I don't think she loves the power tool idea. You can almost see her face. She's looking at you going, what the hell is this guy doing now? But it will help. It's going to even off those hooves and make sure she walks nice and upright and distributes her weight evenly. All right, so we're probably about halfway there on this foot. It takes so long. But what we're trying to get is about 5 millimetres off the side there, just to try and straighten up the foot. Now, I should say, and probably should have said this before, but it's the first goat I've done this on.
Oh, you're experimenting on a
I wouldn't dare experiment on Lady, but we do this quite often on cows.
Okay.
And occasionally on horses. They put up with the noise, but we could say it's an Australian first on a goat. How about that? All right, there you go. So she's got her nice new shoes there. So instead of having her
big masculine arms that she had before. She's going to have nice, long, ladylike legs. So that's done half the job, but the second part is we need to actually sort out that arthritis. So the arthritis is what's causing the pain.
Yeah.
You can have a look through all sorts of vet textbooks on goats, and they never mention arthritis. So we've had to be a little bit inventive, and the way we've done that is by using a dog arthritis medication.
Oh dear, a dog.
So we're calling our lady a dog just for the moment, but this is very safe to use in goats.
Okay.
So we're actually going to give her 3 tablets each day,
Yep.
and that's just going to take the inflammation out of her joints. And now she's walking on the new shoes, she's going to be a lot happier.
We'll see a big improvement.
Now, Naomi, I guess we've got our tablets, but how do we get the tablets into Lady? I usually use something like molasses and ground the tablets up.
Well, she's never been a big fan of molasses, Chris.
No sweet tooth?
No, she doesn't seem to like it.
You reckon she likes beans, though?
Beans are her favourite. We pick them for her often from the garden.
Yes, you just dote on her, don't you?
We try to.
No wonder she doesn't let me tackle her. She's got that
So
ego
this is
going
a
on.
huge one. You could,
So you're going to snap it,
yeah.
pop it out.
Woohoo!
I'm good with this. And just pop it in there, I reckon.
Oh, believe me, she'll just wolf that down.
Just like edamame. Okay. All right, so hang on to that.
I'll hold those.
When I come back, just give my regards to the family. It's different this time. You know, we've been through everything, giving you treatment. You know, I'm here for you, not for me. So I was just thinking maybe we could talk about this, and I've got a bean for you. No, okay, you're all right. It's like this, is it? Come on. Oh, good step. That was a good step. Which one? Which one? Oh, yes. There we go. Okay, now, this is a giving moment. Huh? Nothing nasty here. Little bean. Oh, then I'll just tie that little tablet a bit more. Little bean, what you might like. Huh?
She's eating it.
She is.
Should we reward her with another one?
One without a tablet in it. Look at that.
Oh, she can't resist, can she?
Okay, we've given her a good massage, a pedicure, and some pain relief, and she looks like she's running a lot more comfortably. But let's face it, the whole goal here is to keep this record breaker going, and you never know. One day, she might just see her 21st birthday. All right, Naomi, thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Been a pleasure as always.
Thank you on behalf of Lady.
No worries, we'll see you again soon, huh?
Yeah, that's good.
Cheers. Hey Jeanette, how are you?
Hi, Chris, I'm well. How are you?
Yeah, good, good. Where's our girl?
Upstairs.
Okay. So any change since we spoke?
She's actually, the contractions are probably a little bit closer
Okay.
and more frequent.
Yep.
Come through, Chris.
Okay, thanks.
Come and see Bindi.
Is that her favourite little thing?
It is. It is. Can't get her out of it.
I'll put the puppies in there when we're done, I promise.
Yeah.
Well, she's certainly got that real soccer ball shape there.
Yeah.
Has that shifted at all this afternoon? Is that?
Yes, it has, but just in the last 2 hours. It was there earlier.
Yeah.
It's just gone back a bit.
Okay. There's no doubt the puppies are on their way.
Mm-hmm. But when?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
How many would you say are there, Chris?
Yeah, it's a real guessing game. These
Yeah.
guys are notorious for having small litters.
Yes, they are.
So I guess downsize the expectations, I think, is the key. But they can be quite deceiving. They can have a lot of pups hidden up in there, or they can have one that looks like 6, but I
Really?
guess
Yeah.
time will tell.
Is it going to be a long night?
I'm preparing myself for one. Yeah. To me, it looks like she's in stage 1 or possibly even stage 2 of labour. It's just a matter of picking when the right time is to intervene. Even though she's panting a lot, she looks in control, she's aware, she's alert, she's looking around, she's happy to make friends, where if she was in full panic mode, she'd probably just be in her own little zone.
Yeah.
She's anxious, you can see that by her panting, but you've got to remember this is the first time she's ever been through this. All she knows is what she's feeling inside, and it freaks her out a little bit. This is just a sign that she's looking to mum to say it's all okay. Okay. So
See?
There's a placental sac actually pushing through her pelvis. So the first puppy is actually coming through. It's through her pelvis, and waters haven't broken, so the placenta is still intact, but is currently in her pelvis, and that's what she's trying to push through. I'd rather not rush her now while it's actually engaged in the pelvis. Probably the best thing while it is actually coming through is we'll just put it down and let her push through. Being the age she is and it being the first time she's done this, I wouldn't mind actually giving her something called oxytocin, just to move things on a little bit quicker. What it does, it just gives her more push in her contractions.
Yeah.
She's trying and she's pushing hard.
She is.
But perhaps not quite hard enough. And Norwich Terriers are renowned for having difficulties getting their pups the whole way through.
Yeah.
So I think if we just give her a bit of extra oomph, it might just be enough to push that puppy through.
Okay, great.
All right. Okay, let's get ready for this. Okay.
Good girl.
Okay, that'll just take a few minutes to kick in, but what you'll notice is that the contractions will come more regularly, but also more forcefully. One really good push can be enough to give that critical extra nudge to get that puppy through, and at the same time, one push can lock that puppy in place. So it's really, these are the next few minutes that worry me as a vet.
Well, this movement
of
the back.
That placenta is actually still intact, so it still hasn't burst. We haven't had huge movement since the last time, but there still has been some. To me, it actually feels like her cervix is actually what's holding everything back, so her cervix isn't as dilated as I would have thought it would be. Just because she's not still responding to the level we'd like, I'm going to give her some calcium as well as another hit of oxytocin. So the calcium just makes the muscle contractions even stronger. Sure, it's the hardest thing, isn't it? Just waiting.
Yes, isn't it?
To be honest, though, my attitude is that if this doesn't work, we'll probably be looking at surgery. And I'll give this about probably 10 or 15 minutes.
Okay.
And then I think we're probably pushing the limits of time.
Yeah, no, definitely.
It's that awful middle ground at the moment. Do you rush in? Do you do the cesarean, or do you sit back and let nature take its course and let Bindi do the pushing? We're just waiting to see if she can do it herself. If she can't, then I'll have to step in and do it for her.
Sharp teeth.
Okay. The reason we don't go to cesarean straight away is because of the risk of anaesthetic to her.
Of course.
And then you've got to realise that the puppy's going to take on the anaesthetic as well, so they're going to be depressed and not that alert when they first come out. So a natural delivery in these circumstances is usually the best. But
definitely.
if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Oxytocin essentially acts to contract the muscle in the uterus to really squeeze it out and force that puppy through. They release their own, but often it's not quite enough, or often the uterus just stops responding to their oxytocin, so you have to give them an extra big hit of it to really force things through. You've got to feel for her. She's just trying to find that comfortable place, but it just doesn't exist. No matter where she goes, there's that ever-present pain and urge to push. But you can see the contractions there almost every second now. It's good that it's going this far, but it freaks me out at the same time. The fact she's walking around, the fact she's talking like she is, just says to me she is a bit distressed. She is a bit confused about what's going on, and in all honesty, she just wants it to end. She just wants these puppies out. So I do actually have a puppy coming through now.
Oh, can you see it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Come on, girl.
come on, girl. Good girl. Good girl. Push.
Head's through, but we've got to wait for the shoulders to come through, and this is where we're stuck at the moment. Go on, Bindi.
Come on, good girl.
Come on, girl.
Good.
I'm just trying to get my fingers up around the shoulders and just pull down and out. At the same time, sort of loosen things around the cervix here.
Good girl.
Just trying to time my pulling on her contractions as well. Give me a push, girl. Come on, Bindi.
Good girl.
It's those shoulders that are stuck, though. Come on, Bindi, give me one really good push.
Push.
Yeah, good girl.
Good girl.
Good girl.
Got it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, good girl.
baby.
The first thing we're going to do is clear that airway. That puppy has just come from inside the uterus, which is fluid filled, and all of a sudden it's expected to breathe air to survive. If it doesn't make that adjustment, it doesn't live. It has to make that crucial change from water to air. And if it can't make it for itself, I've got to do it for it. I'm getting movement, but just not a lot of breathing. Just trying to force out any extra fluid out of the lungs.
Yep.
At the same time, this is all about stimulation, just pushing the sides of the chest in. Just going to let her have a little lick again. Mum knows best, and she'll stimulate a movement as well. Do you want to go up that end, please, Mindy?
He's quite big, isn't he?
He is, yeah. Decent heartbeat.
Really?
It's not regular.
I'm expecting big bark. Oh, Mindy, look. Come and have a look at him. Come on. Do you want to see him?
Okay. I'm going to hand over to Mum now.
He's like a little kitten.
I'm just trying to test out his sucking reflex at the moment. It's pretty strong. He's had a bit of a slow start, but he's catching up now. And we're one down. That's great. But looking at Bindi, there's more to come. Our standard birth position. I've never delivered puppies like this before.
Really?
No, but it works.
It does.
Just let gravity do its work. Okay.
That's good.
Now, hopefully, just because we've already had that one pup, the cervix and obviously the pelvic inlet there is used to things coming through it that are of that size. Playing a guessing game of what I can feel. I think I can feel feet.
Do you?
I'd say they're back feet, which, yeah, it's not ideal. So it's a breech position. Problem with that is that when we come hip first, that's quite a wide area that has to, I guess, push its way through. The head normally acts as a bit of a battering ram and sort of widens things as it goes, but when you just come back onto it, it's quite difficult. Binny, you're just not making it easy, are you?
Push pins.
If I can get hold of one of her feet, or both her feet, that would really help. She gave a really good push then.
Good girl, good girl. Two more, good.
It's sort of the position that the vets dread, the breech position, and this is why when you've got a head coming through, you can grab the head and pull that with the shoulders, but with this, you're grabbing hold of slippery toes, and that's it. It just makes a nightmare. Yeah, this delay isn't good for the puppy's health.
Good girl. Come on, Bindi, darling. Poor baby.
That's just so frustrating. This foot just keeps on slipping through my fingers. The concern for me at the moment is the other pups and his mum. To be honest, I don't hold out a lot of hope for this pup.
Come on, Bindi. Good.
Here we go, girl. You've almost done the impossible here, girl.
Good girl.
Well done.
Good girl. It's okay. Got it?
Yep. Come on, bub. Come on. You're going this far. Hey?
Come on.
Come on, puppy. You can do it. I need to surprise all of us, huh? There's nothing yet. No, it doesn't look good.
Any movement?
No. Nope. Sorry, girl. Sorry, Jeanette. Sorry about that.
for
Oh, you certainly tried. My God, it's been a hard night, isn't it?
It's not over.
I don't know whether Bindi could take any more.
She needs a rest, but I guess whether her body's going to let her have a rest is another thing. It's really heartbreaking, especially considering the effort that Bindi went through and Jeanette as well. But it also tires out Bindi too, which let's hope isn't a critical thing in the future. I'm really considering now
Yeah,
telling you to cesarean.
yeah. She's too tired.
Well, she is. And the problem we've got now is there is a puppy very close to engaging and pushing through, but she just can't
No.
make the effort.
Okay, we'll do it.
I'm all for being patient, but at the same time we do have to be mindful of Bindi and her health. So now the plan is we head straight to the clinic and then go to work and see what we can do. Okay, if you get her up here.
Oh, she's really tired.
Yeah.
I'm just getting a bit of a second wind now at 4 a.m. Is that what it is? 4 a.m. almost?
So this is a really tricky part because whatever anaesthetic we give her, we're in effect giving to the puppies. So we just use a really low dose. And a girl was just like sitting on the side, right? She getting sleepy? You never really want to rush a surgery, but if there's one to rush, this is probably it. We've got puppies sitting on the inside that are trying to work out what the hell's going on outside. Probably feeling a little bit dizzy, and they need to get out quickly. Okay, ready? Yeah. Only one more pup. We came so close without the cesarean, but it just had to be done. It's just hard not to go frantic in this situation. We've got one puppy over here that's just struggling to breathe, but you just can't forget about Mum as well. She is going through a lot of trauma internally. She's the focus right now, and we're working on the pup over there. The pup looks to be doing okay. We're getting some signs of life. The colour's certainly improving, and that breathing is becoming more regular. So fingers crossed those signs continue to improve. Good sound, little man. Scream like you hate it. Oh. She's now got the perfect family. A little girl and a boy. Hey, Mum. You know this one? You know this one? What's that? It's now time to go and tell Jeanette, I guess, the good news. She must be frantic out there. Now, Jeanette.
Yes.
You've met your little boy before.
Yes.
But you haven't met your little girl before.
Oh.
So she just had the one puppy in there.
Did she?
And that was her when she was alive.
Oh, they're so beautiful. My God. How sweet.
Beautiful.
How sweet.
Noisy and beautiful.
She looks a bit bigger than him.
Yeah, she is.
Oh my gosh, what a night.
I
What
know.
a night.
Bindi was great. I was amazed how well she went into anaesthetic and then how well she came out. She's up and alert at the moment. She's already sniffed a new little girl. And
Really?
Yeah, she's great.
They are just so adorable. Oh my God.
Oh, just like a mother.
I know.
It's amazing I have these instincts. I promise you this one's real. It's not my finger. This one will actually get you something.
Well, the only name we had was for the boy, little Boney. Bindi's mother was called Juliet. We thought we should name a girl after the mother, so she might be Juliet.
If you've got Bone and Juliet, it's not too much of a stretch to have Bonio and Juliet.
Oh!
Thank you. It might be 6:30 in the morning, but I'm still functioning.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, see? Bonio, onto it. I'd like to think that I've done a lot of work tonight, but you look at Bindi, she's just been going at it all night. So she needs some rest. The puppies, they'll get plenty of rest, and yeah, probably count me in that as well. What's this? Is that day? I'm going home.
Very, very cute. It's a hard one, but I think we're going to keep them.
Hi there. How are you? I'm Chris. Nice to meet you all. What's going on? We've got a pelican. Oh, really? So do you think he was hit by a car? Did anyone...
It's bleeding.
Bleeding, is he?
And it has a fishing hook in its leg as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we've noticed that while we were watching
Wow.
it. We had to sit here and protect it because the magpies kept on trying to dive bomb it.
Okay. Let's see how we go. We'll get him in the corner here. You feisty? Seem to be able to get those wings flapping pretty nicely. Doesn't hurt, unfortunately. You don't have teeth. I know you think it might, but it doesn't. Hey.
A lot of blood was coming up from under his feet
Was it? Okay.
and bleeding here. I think, I don't know how the blood was from here, but he was just lying right up on the gutter. And I went to him and he got up, but I could see he couldn't fly away.
If you can hold his beak there,
Yeah.
and just support his neck, we'll actually take him out here a little bit. Some grass here. That's good. So my biggest concern is their wings, because obviously when they're often when they're hit, they're flying.
I don't know if he's hit the power lines of him.
Yeah.
Maybe.
He's got a bump on the back of his neck here, just in here, and that's where the blood's coming from as well. If I feel down there, there's a big bump there. You can see their wingspan's so huge, he's having no problem getting them right out. So I'm happy with all the bones, I guess, from here on. Hey, buddy. His skin really crackles when I feel it. Now, that's gas underneath his skin.
Okay.
That can be normal in them, so it doesn't rule out, though, the possibility of some sort of internal trauma that's caused him to burst some of the air sacs that are inside their body. Their bones are quite hollow and they've got air in them, but also their lungs aren't like our lungs. They're sort of just big air sacs. So I'm just keen to give him a really good health check of all the important parts. His legs are nice and strong. He's really resisting that. Oh, there we go. There's a bit of bleeding there. So he's got some injuries in his mouth there. Hey, it's all right. It's all right, buddy. I know, mate. It's all a bit foreign. So he's suffered a bit of head trauma. Whilst he's got some blood in there, it looks like it's almost coming from just a very small cut there. So I think the majority of the injuries have actually been in this neck here. Now, he moves it pretty freely, but he's not obviously going to tell us, like a dog or a cat might, about where he's sore. His heart rate's quite high. He's in a fair bit of stress, understandably.
I'd say only he would really be able to tell us exactly what happened. Looking at him, I'd say he's either been hit by a car or hit the power lines. And if that's happened, he's probably been lucky to survive without an electric shock. But the power lines, they're obviously fairly tight wires, and they can do quite a bit of damage as their body sort of slices through them. The next step really is to take him back to the vet hospital. We're going to have to x-ray him to make sure that his neck is clear of any fractures or any damage, and really just check those wings and also remove that fish hook that's sticking out of his leg. In a way, it's a delicate balance between treating him but also not stressing him out too much that he does himself an injury. And with a neck like this, he could have quite easily twisted it and break it himself. We have to be really careful. Just for the trip back to the clinic, I just want to keep this beak isolated because he's going to keep on snapping away. Just that tip there. Just by taping it like that, it still allows him to breathe, but at the same time, it stops him from endangering others, but most importantly himself, because he could quite easily stick his beak where it isn't needed. Thanks. Cheers. Right, talk to you soon.
Okay, okay. Oh, at least we saved him, I think, hopefully.
We all right? Yeah. Oh, this is driving me insane. Can I just ask you something, Pablo? Are you scratching at all? I think we need to have a serious talk about who you've been mixing with, because I'm starting to get very itchy. I'm starting to see a few lice on you too, which I think are the same things that are on me now. He's managing this okay. It's all obviously pretty overwhelming for him, and he's just wishing this whole trip was over. But all in all, I've just been watching his breathing rate and just how aware he is, and I'm pretty comfortable with his situation at the moment. I don't think you can really have a bird with so much personality like this without giving him a name. So, I don't know, I think somehow Pablo might suit him. Pablo and his million lice. What you expect to see in a car is a pelican peering out the window. Look at the window down if you like.
What's with the pelican?
It's a very good question. He's been hit by a car. Yeah, so just take him back to the vets and going to x-ray him and...
Okay, good luck.
No worries. Just wish we could find a way through this traffic. He's still got some blood dripping from his beak, which does worry me, so hopefully we won't take too much longer. Can you actually just hold his beak there? Yeah. Buddy. Now, it's not what you would have expected.
What have you got now?
Pelican, mate.
Pelican.
Give me a hand.
Yeah, sure.
Thanks, buddy. He's either been hit by a car or run into power lines.
Okay.
So if you can just concentrate on his wings, just holding his wings pretty firm there.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate. It's great.
Wow.
He's got a hook in his back foot there.
You don't realise how big they are, do you?
Got a real presence about them.
Yeah.
It's Pablo, by the way, now.
Right, it's named already.
Yeah. Bleeding's just come out of his nasal area there. So that says to me that he's suffered a fair bit of head trauma, because there's some quite fragile bones through that nasal area. He's also got a bit of bruising down here, so we need to x-ray this whole neck area. I want to check out his wings as well.
Okay.
And just double check his legs. His legs look pretty good,
Yeah.
apart from the fish hook there. And now that you're holding him, it's probably a good time to tell you that he's actually covered in lice as well. So thanks. Thanks, Nick.
Thank you. We'll sort you out, hey?
If anything, seems a little bit more aware now, which is good.
Was he a bit stunned before?
Just a little bit confused, and just
Yeah.
his movements weren't too fluid. He's just a little bit uncoordinated.
I'm itching.
Already.
Yeah, got him. Thanks, Chris.
That's all right. No, mate, it's the least I can do. You know, you've got to share the love around here, and if love is lice, then that's just the way it is.
Nice.
The fact is, these x-rays have to be taken. He could quite easily have a partial fracture of one of the vertebrae in his neck, or even a wing fracture. And there's a reason why, after he was hit, he didn't fly off and leave. Now, that could very well be concussion, but at the same time, it could be an injury. We need to work that out now, because he can't be released if he does have a fracture. He's still breathing pretty comfortably, isn't he?
Yeah, it's all pretty stable here.
All good, thank you.
Thanks, Ray.
All right, thank you.
So his main injuries seem to be around the back of his neck here, at about C3, and also in around his nasal passages where they just have thousands of these tiny, very fragile bones that when they suffer any sort of impact, they very easily crack and fracture, and by doing that, they bleed out through his beak. The fact is, after going through what he has, Pablo is incredibly lucky to be alive. We just have to keep him that way. You get to give a bit of slack and get it right through, I think. The fact is, he's going to need medical supervision during the night, possibly even treatment. So having him in the clinic makes a lot of sense for us. Plus, we can give him a few feeds as well. Certainly can't miss it. Let's hope he's colourblind.
It looks a little bit like a sick kid's hospital, you know?
The first thing he's going to need is some dexamethasone to help him deal with that trauma. I'm just going to give him 2 mils straight into his breast muscle. So just to support his circulation as well, we're going to give him some fluids. The more I look at him, the more I think that being hit by the car is almost the final nail. Before that, he's been weak, he's been malnourished, and on top of that, he's had the lice really trying to weigh him down even more. Yeah, this is actually dog flea and tick spray, but it'll actually work really well on his lice. Good thing is these guys live in the feathers, and so just spraying them superficially like this should do wonders.
Fish for dinner?
Ah, thank you, sir.
There we go.
Very nice. See that, Pablo? We are looking after you. Thanks, mate. Okay, now this is going to be interesting, and you'll find out why. If you just hold him there. I don't mind if he's like that.
Yeah. You want me to hold this up like this?
Yeah, you'll see.
Okay.
So let's pick out a small one.
Yeah, that one looks small.
Really small. Okay. Okay, we see his neck vertical.
So, do you want me just to hold up?
Oh,
here?
I've got it.
And I'll hold.
Just support the base of his neck
Base
there.
his neck, okay.
Okay, let's get that right up in there. Be a little bit tricky and you might try to regurgitate it. How's that? Is he going to come back up?
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit of a trick. He's going to try and regurgitate it, so this looks very bizarre, but just tie this around. Even though he's close to starving and all he needs right now is fish, for me to give him fish feels very foreign and he's stressed out and his instinct is to regurgitate straight away. We have to prevent that by just holding his neck or even tying this cord around just to prevent that regurgitation. Feeding's the last thing on his mind. He just wants to be left alone, but we have to make him eat because he's so fragile right now. He needs nutrition. Here it comes, buddy. Let's have a look at this fish hook. People often do get really freaked out by the look of fish hooks in birds, but the sad reality is a lot of pelicans actually live their lives with hooks in them the whole time. So this one, it doesn't really worry me, but we've obviously got to get it out. I'm just going to put some local anaesthetic around the base of it, because the only thing holding it in is that barb. There you go, simple as that. It is pretty rusted, so it has been in there for a fair amount of time. And old Pablo has been coping pretty well. Okay, I think it's bedtime.
Okay.
All right?
New home.
Yeah, let's see. Okay. Yeah. Look at this, Pablo. Let's get excited when we reveal it, okay? You ready, Pablo? Look at this. Wow. Well, that's not bad. There we go. If you regurgitate, I'm not going to be happy. The fact he's fluffed up implies that he's a bit stressed. Now, it worries me, but I'm not surprised. He's been through the top drawer of bad days for a pelican. He's already malnourished. He's got a huge lice burden all over him, and then he's been hit by a car. So, if he looked relaxed, I'd be even more surprised. All right, mate, good night. Hopefully see you in the morning, okay? You be strong. See you later.
Morning, Pablo. Bit of a sunbake, huh? Pretty good. How are we? Are we okay? You know, we spent a lot of time together last night. We're still not great, are we? Come on. This morning we have fish or fish. Just a bit of a yawn. It's obviously a bit early in the morning for Pablo. He's a late riser. I think after he's here for a while, he can assess where his life's got to and where he can head from here, and hopefully he'll make the right decisions. Hopefully a bad Spanish accent will probably convince him that getting out of here as soon as possible is the right way to go. He's just showing us a little bit more of his true self. He's looking around, he's more inquisitive, but also he's grooming himself. And to me, that's a good sign that he's starting to take care of himself. And that's ultimately the goal. He has to look after himself once he leaves here. Also, he needs to be built up. He's still extremely skinny. So it's just a diet of fish, fish, and more fish. Hey, Pablo, you want the fish, huh? You want the fish? Oh, Pablo, he likes the fish, huh? You see how the fish has actually gone down sideways there? On the hand? He's going to have about 2 or 3 times a day, just to build up his protein levels, his fat levels, so when he does go out in the wild, even if he has a few tough days out there, he can still make it through. Hey, that way. Ready? Better, much better. I'm going to say that this does bring back a few memories. That my family seems to be synonymous with pelicans. My dad, who's a vet, treated a pelican when I was just a kid that had actually had its top beak blown off with a shotgun from a fisherman. And for 6 months we had a pelican called Percy in our backyard, and we used to have to feed it and look after it. So this isn't entirely foreign. Hey Pablo, I have a surprise for you. Look at this. The idea might be that, you know, instead of taking the fish from me, you take the fish out of the water, because that's really what happens in the wild, and you've got to learn that. It'll take a while, Pablo. Just be patient. Pablo, does this change your opinion of the pool? That was quick. You've got to learn that I'm not the provider of all fish, okay? No. This is where the fish live, in there. In there. This is what they do. A lot of people don't realise that pelicans don't necessarily need to be in water the whole time. He's quite happy being in this enclosure without this water. It's just a matter of making sure that he gets used to that feeding program of being in water when he eats. Here. It's all right, Pablo. Come on. It's okay. It's going to be painless unless, you know, this whole health retreat thing's really done bad things to your waistline. No, that's just too difficult. Come on. All right, this is the other way. This is the other way. We'll do this together. Okay. So you weigh 102 kilos. How are you with that? No, it's not right. Okay, we'll take mine off, which is 99. You're 3 kilos. Given that amount of weight gain, given the fact he's getting more and more feisty, and, you know, I think our bonding time's over. What do you reckon? Let's go. Oh, you know it, don't you? You know it, not just yet. Patience. There's one thing you haven't really learned, patience, but I just want you to do just a little bit of that right now. You're so excited, aren't you? I know. What? There's something really warm going between my legs. Is this square up? Is this payback? I've had you in a confined space for a few days, and now the moment you've got me in one, you're getting me, aren't you? food on me. Quite a journey. Obviously the excitement of the car trip and of release meant quite a bit to me. That's a nice way of saying thank you in some sort of way. You worked out what's going on? I reckon you have, you know. Pablo, what a night, huh? Perfect conditions. He's only about 2 or so kilometres from where we actually found him, so he won't be too far away from his friends. He just looks a lot more lively too, and his feathers are a lot more wider and brighter, and he just seems more proud in everything he does. I gotta say, I've bonded with him. He's a very special bird, and he's got a lot of personality, and I think we might just miss Pablo around the clinic. Ready to go? Okay, mate, let's go. Probably not really surprised that the lazy last few days extends into a lazy evening watching the sunset. He looks happy though. He's swimming strongly and just taking it all in, working out where he is, arranging a few rendezvous for tonight, I'm sure. He'll find the rest of the pelicans, he'll be happy.
I left this morning on my way to work at about 6:30 and got home tonight at about 7:30. And normally she's at the back door chomping at the bit to get inside, and I found it a bit odd that she wasn't there. So I went around the back and I found her doing this, and she tried to stand up and she just couldn't weight bear on her back legs, and yeah, that's when I called the owner and eventually got to see you guys. So
she really is displaying the classical signs of a snailbait poisoning, and you do have to act pretty quickly on these guys because as you can see, their system just goes into overload. And if it gets too far, they can actually go into seizures. And when that happens, it's very bad news. So we've just got to act quickly. Okay, what I'm going to do first of all is give her some of this antidote. I just want to get some of this into a system. The idea being that let's try and reverse as much of this as we can instantaneously and try and avoid progressing any further. The next thing I'm going to do is actually make her vomit. I want to get that stuff out of her stomach so she stops absorbing it, but I'm just trying to prevent her going into a seizure right now. Okay, all right, that's enough of that. This is what looks quite bizarre, but essentially it's a tablet that we're going to inject. So just get one of these out. And we put the tablet in there. So once I give this, I'm actually going to take the muzzle off because I don't really want to have any trouble boiling this stuff. Once this kicks in, she'll want to vomit. Now, that should be enough. Get this off. Just going through those classical signs, you know, so pre-vomit spits and feeling awkward. Yeah. The purpose of the vomiting is just to remove as much of that material in her stomach as possible. We're running a bit of a race at the moment between how much she absorbs and how much we can counter that absorption with an antidote. So by removing as much from that stomach as we can, we start to win the race, and that's the most important thing. Here we go. So the green there does worry me. There aren't many things around that dogs eat that are green.
Yeah.
You know, dogs don't eat vegetables, or very rarely. Now, the thing about snail baits is they're green.
Yeah.
If she's taken on board that, then you know she's taken on board quite a bit. I think she has settled just a little bit. Yeah. Just her panting stopped. She does seem a little bit more relaxed. I actually wanted to vomit more. There's just not enough yet. There's bound to be more in there. You become a bit of a sadist in this situation because the more vomit, the better. And she just hasn't produced quite enough yet. just writing down all the drugs that we're using here because this is going to be a long process, and you just got to keep track of how much you've given her, just so she doesn't have too much of any one particular drug.
It's a little bit funny that the guy who owns the dog is a cop, and so is a housemate, and so are all these guys here.
If this dog's been poisoned, the person that poisoned it doesn't know what he's messing with,
He's
does
in
he?
a bit of trouble.
He just doesn't seem to be responding to that, and that's probably a result of the poisoning itself. What I'm actually going to do here looks a little bit strange, but it works. This is actually going to go under her eyelid. There's a great blood supply to the eye, and that gets absorbed pretty quickly. It's a bit of an irritant though, so she won't like this, and it's just an unfortunate fact. It is going to help her, but we just need to find another way to get this drug into her system. You'll see her eye will go bright red in a second. So it's now a milky sort of consistency, but it will start to get absorbed pretty soon. In the meantime, I'm going to actually start giving her some more of that antidote. As you can appreciate, she's got a lot of drugs swimming around the system right now, so we're going to see some strange reactions from her and her system, I guess, trying to cope with uppers, downers, all sorts of things going on. What I'm going to do is actually give her a muscle relaxant, so it's essentially a Valium derivative, just to try and settle down that twitching, and it's all about just trying to reduce that risk of her going into convulsions. If we don't get a great response from this Valium, then I'd be tempted to transfer her over to an emergency centre. For the simple fact that we need someone to monitor the anaesthetic. We need a lot of nurses, a lot of staff on hand, because if she doesn't respond, she's going to need around-the-clock attention and around-the-clock monitoring. Now we can do the best we can here, but we need something more substantial than that. Okay. So the Valium's in the system now. It is going to sedate her a little bit. Yeah, Paul? Hey, mate. Basically, she's not responding to the treatment we're giving her. Now, what I'm suspicious of is the fact that she's got a defender poisoning. So it's basically a snail bait, but it has no antidote, no specific antidote. We're giving her supportive care at the moment. We're giving her some Valium to try and reduce the risk of her seizuring, and also pumping some fluids into her. But right now, her biggest risk is absorbing more of that poison, and then going into convulsions. So what I'm proposing is that we take her over to the emergency centre for the simple fact she's going to probably need to be anaesthetised and also monitored throughout the night. The problem we've got is she's taken on a lot of this poison. Not only is she vomiting in it, but also it's coming out in a diarrhoea, so it's through the whole system. Okay, so it is very serious. We'll get her to North Ryde right now, and basically we'll just keep in touch during the night and see how she goes. Yeah, we'll do that in here. She's warm enough, but it's all right. Hey guys, how you going? We've got Zenna that we've called ahead for. Worst case scenario is that Zenna absorbs too much toxin for her body to handle. It stimulates her nervous system so much she goes into convulsions, her temperature goes through the roof, she gets brain injury, and she can die. It just must be one of the most distressing things for a dog to go to. They've got uncontrollable muscle tremors, they feel their temperature rising, they feel themselves getting hot, they can't control that, they're almost boiling, yet they don't know why. Hi. How are you going, Leslie?
Good, how are you?
She came in about an hour and a half ago, and she was tremoring and basically in a fair bit of distress. There was a suspicion that she might have been poisoned. She's been poisoned before, made a vomit with some apomorphine, she passed a lot of green material, so suspecting obviously a metaldehyde poisoning. So Any poisoning, especially when it's metaldehyde, which is in snail bait, is potentially lethal. The problem we have is there's no antidote. My initial hope was that it was one of the poisons that actually has an antidote, but unfortunately the moment we see that green vomit and that green diarrhoea, it confirms the fact it's metaldehyde, and it's tricky and you can lose them. Just passing that down now.
So basically, it's the same as a stomach pump. We're trying to fill up the stomach with warm water and then basically empty it out. So trying to physically remove all of the toxin from her stomach so we're not seeing any more being absorbed. And I guess the quicker we get this out, the chance of her recovering is much better. It's totally clear now, yeah.
To be honest, I would have expected a lot more, but in the clinic she had a very good vomit. Maybe she was very effective in actually removing a lot of that bait at that particular time, which is good. I mean, what we want is her to get that bait out as quickly as possible. She's been put under anaesthetic just so she can avoid going into convulsions, but also to give us the opportunity to stomach tube her and also give her an enema. And now the plan is just to wake her up, let her come around, and let's just assess where she's at right now. During this time, she's metabolising some of that toxin, and also we're flushing some of it out through what we've been doing, and also plus we've got the drip running as well. She's got a few things going on. She's got an increased temperature, the acidosis, plus we're trying to fight her absorbing any more toxin.
I feel a lot better when she can lift her head up and is responding to at least our voice or touch or things that she can see. But at this stage, she's still pretty much asleep.
I was called out at around 8:15. It's now nearly midnight. So we've been going for over 3 hours now. And Zen is, I guess you could say, in a holding pattern. We've managed to limit some of those serious signs, which were the muscle tremoring and the potential for seizures. And now Zen is calm and she's stable, and that's the most important thing. Paul, good Chris, mate. Hey Chris, how are you? Good. Mate, you've made a bit of a mercy dash up the front.
Yeah, from Newcastle, yeah.
So obviously we spoke before to give you the story, but look, she's pretty stable at the moment. What we're trying to do is limit any seizures, so when she starts to wake up and starts to become a bit light and starts to tremor and get a bit stiff in her legs, we just give her an increased dose of medication, and that tends to calm her down. So look, she's in a good place at the moment because her temperature's gone down to the normal range. Just trying to get as much of that toxin out of her system as possible, and hopefully she's got enough strength to push on and be okay in the morning. If she pulls through, she's been very lucky. The biggest worry is probably the fact it pushes the temperature up. So it can push a temperature up to 40.5, 41, even 42 degrees. If it goes above 41, then you've got a serious risk of brain damage. The highest temperature we got on her was around 40.7, so it was nudging up there. But it doesn't look as though it got to a dangerous level, but we can't be sure in between taking those temperature readings whether it got to a dangerous level. The thing I'm most mindful of at the moment is the potential for brain damage, and in the morning we'll get a good impression of whether that's actually occurred. If it hasn't occurred, it's good news. If it has, then the future is a bit shaky. Hey Lisa.
Hello.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, look at her.
How well are you going?
How's she going?
She's done pretty well. Yeah, she's been pretty stable overnight. When Justin came in this morning, she was already awake and standing up, and the twitching had stopped early this morning.
It's a dramatic change, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. She's had no more vomiting, but she's been passing quite a bit of soft green coloured poo, so there's obviously still some in her system. But her lungs sound clear, so we haven't done any x-rays at this stage. She's had an antibiotic shot just to cover that, and I'm sending her home on some clav as well. And yeah, I'm pretty happy for her to go home.
It's amazing.
Yeah, she's done fantastically.
Well done, girl. Well done.
Yeah, good girl.
Morning, guys.
Just going.
Good to see you.
Hi.
How are you going?
Mate, it's a long night.
Yeah, we've been looking after Zena all night, and she's been recovering very well.
Yeah. I know one of Paul's concerns, and certainly one of ours as well, was the potential for brain damage.
Yeah, certainly, and with seizuring and very elevated temperature, there is a potential for that. But luckily, her seizures were controlled very quickly with the drugs she was given last night. Yeah. So I think he won't notice any difference in her personality or anything like that. She'll be back to normal.
Hi, Paul.
Hey, how are you, Lisa?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you.
You must be happy.
A lot better.
Yeah, come see her. You'll be over the moon.
Mate, look at this, huh?
Who's that?
Mate, good news for you.
Is she okay then?
Yeah, you might have to grab onto the leeches so she doesn't go wandering around.
Bit of a change from last night, huh?
Oh, yeah, look at you wagging your
That tail's going. So she'll still be quite groggy today and even probably into tomorrow. Just those drugs take a while to wear off. X-rays would be the next step if you're up for that, but at the moment we've just started her on some antibiotics. So she's had an injection today, and she's going home on a course of antibiotics for 10 days.
And she looks so normal now.
Yeah. She's just been so lucky.
She's been so lucky, but you guys you've done excellent. You've done well. Like if it wasn't with, if you didn't do what you did last night, with the help of,
your friends got onto it so early.
So, mate, after all that, she's ready to go home.
Yep, absolutely. Look, she wants to go home.
We'll see you later, miss.
Off you go.
Come on.
You don't want to stay here.
They're your fluids. See you later.
Go home and have a proper meal.
Ooh, they've been back to normal. Look at her go.
Okay.
Okay, mate.
Right, see you, mate.
See you later. Every now and then you get these house calls which, you've got to take them, but sometimes you don't really want to believe them. Apparently, there's a snake trapped in a swimming pool, but we don't know what sort of snake. All we know is the snake's about 6 foot long, give or take a couple of feet, and it's been there overnight. So, first step here is identification. That could be pretty important. How you going?
Hi, Chris.
Must be Pam.
It is Pam. Thank you so much for coming. I'd
That's
really
all right.
like you to have a look and see if that snake is still there.
I've got to say, I'm looking forward to seeing it myself. I'll just grab my gear here.
Hope you've got a big bag.
Yeah, don't worry. That was
I
priority
think it might
number
be
one.
a big snake. I'm not sure.
So when did you first notice it there?
Well, I had my 2 granddaughters in the pool yesterday, and just as we were about to leave, Sophia looked over and just near the skimmer box there, she said, "Nana, what's that thing?" And I looked over and I thought, oh, that looks like a frog. Then I looked closer and I thought, no, it's a snake's head. And then I saw the rest of the body. So I said to Sophia, come on, we're getting out of here. Because when I opened that box this morning, I saw him in the actual skimmer box.
So he's moved since this morning?
Yes, he's moved.
We're assuming he's still alive?
Absolutely, must be.
Now the thing is about water, it magnifies the size. So I'm hoping he's about a foot long.
Oh, you're hoping he's a foot
about
long?
a centimetre wide. But I don't think it magnifies it that much.
Why would he come in the water?
First of all, it's quite hot, so he could be quite dehydrated, and it's been a pretty dry summer. The other thing is that he could be trying to shed his skin.
Right.
The other possibility is he could actually have some skin mites or some sort of skin infections which he's trying to get rid of through bathing.
Okay.
So that's all possibilities as well.
Could he get himself out of there if he wanted to?
You'd think he would be able to, but he's a pretty big snake, and to push himself up, he does need some point of leverage. So once he can get his head up onto the side, the rest of his body is still weighing him down in the water.
Yeah.
I guess my big worry with him being in this water overnight is the fact that he could quite easily have taken a lot of water into his lungs. So
have pneumonia.
Yeah. Now, the thing about snakes is they don't have a diaphragm, so if he was to inhale water, he can't get it out, so it just sits in there and pools.
Oh, really?
And causes an infection, very quickly too.
So with your pole there, you want to try and get him under his head, don't
I
you?
want to actually get him from behind his head, about that far behind his head, lift him up.
Yes.
And then isolate his head and then grab hold of him with my other hand.
You're game to do that?
With the bag.
Oh, goody. Well, can we see this? Action.
Don't rush me, Pen.
I know, you're taking it from every point here, I can see.
You do have to have a strategy, because I guess you have to remember too that he could very well be sick. If he wasn't sick before, then being in the pool overnight...
So it could be a bit aggressive.
It's possible. If it looks like I'm really taking my time here, I am, and there's a very good reason for that. I'm still not convinced as to what sort of snake we're dealing with here. There are two main possibilities. First of all, a diamond python, which is what I'm hoping for. They tend to be a little bit bigger. They have the diamonds on the side. They're placid unless they're pushed, then they can bite. The second possibility is a broad-headed snake. They're venomous. They look very similar. They're a little bit shorter, but people have died through confusing a broad-headed snake for a diamond python. I don't really want to be one of them. We're going to grab it here, and then I'll move my hand in there. I'm going to get control of the snake's head there. Okay? And then you can use that bag as protection if you like. It'll go in there and then away.
Right.
And then we close the bag. All right?
Okay.
Okay, but it might move a little bit more than that.
Let's go. You've got to be brave.
Right. Just going on the sides of him, he's just too big to be a broad-headed snake, and also he doesn't have the characteristic markings. He's got the little diamonds on him and quite a wide belly. I'd love to see his head just to get a confirmation on that. He's got a few little spots where it looks like he's shedding his skin there. We'll just use this to block that away there. So he's going to try and edge out here. I just don't see that we're going to be able to get him out of the skimmer box with that flap there, preventing him from getting back in. I think we're going to have to do it the way I didn't really want to do it, and that's through the front. The worry for me is an obvious one. I can very easily lose control of him going out through this way. He's got all this pool here to escape to, and I've got this hook to prevent it, so it's not ideal. We might see if we can actually poke him from this direction. So I'll just gently do that now. A very serious risk is the fact that this snake could actually swim out into the pool and try to get away from me trying to come in from the top. So maybe someone needs to get in the water. Pam? Well, I guess this is the moment of truth.
Good luck.
Oh, jeez. He's a big one.
Oh, Chris, what am I doing?
No, you're right. He's a big snake. Broad-headed snakes will only get up to about 90 centimetres. Now, I can already see at least that. And there's quite a wide girth there too, plus a long tail. Going on the markings and the length, he's got to be a diamond python.
I can see his head. Isn't it head to the right there, Chrissy?
That's right. That's fine. That's fine. We're going to find one of two things here. Either he's sick and he's going to be very lethargic and very easy to handle and put in that bag. Or secondly, if he's shedding his skin in there, he's going to go off like a firecracker. Just going to manipulate him until I can find his head here.
Oh, there he is. Quick, can you grab him by the neck?
I just can't believe how big he is. He's got to be almost 3 metres long. Stay still. Come on. But he's just slippery. That's the biggest problem I've got. He just keeps on moving.
You need me?
No, it's all right. I can see why he's in there. He's shedding his skin, which you can see he's coming off now. Jeez, he's fast too. Doesn't look too sick. Don't go over there. Don't go over there. Come on, buddy. Just got to get a good hold of him, but skin just keeps on sliding off. Come on, buddy. I'm not going to hurt you, mate. I know you're freaking out. You just stay there, mate. We both want the same thing here, all right? We both want to get out of this pool. Oh, no, don't do...
Oh, Chris, you had him.
He's just very slippery and it's going to be quite distressed. But I just can't get a grip of him. This bag won't stay open.
Okay.
his head there. He's not going to go anywhere.
Chris.
Well done, Pam.
Oh. Was that what you call a team effort?
That was a team effort. That was very well done.
Oh my goodness,
The
he
tricky
was
thing there is that,
slippery, wasn't he?
well, normally a snake in a snake hook like that, it grips it, but he's wet. The problem is there was no good grip, and he kept on wanting to go back into the water there, so we're a little bit stuck.
Oh, that was very hair-raising there for a minute.
That was exhausting for me, let alone him. He's so much bigger than I ever thought looking at that skimmer box. He was fast, he was fit, and he was feisty. I'm just glad we got him in the bag in the end.
I didn't think I'd ever get that close to a snake.
He did very well. He was a whopper.
He was a good one, wasn't he?
When he stretched out there, he was almost as fast as you were in the pool before.
I thought it was just going to be an easy in and out and in the bag, and it obviously wasn't as easy as that. No, I'm amazed at my bravery.
You were very good, actually. I didn't think we'd have to go to the point where you had to hold the bag.
No, I did.
You did it very well.
I did it.
While a diamond python isn't a venomous snake, the thing about them is they've got quite a big bite on them, plus they're constrictors as well. Now, with Pam's grandkids around, it's not the ideal situation. But I guess the heartening thing for me amongst all of that was the fact that we actually got a diagnosis while he was swimming around, and it's this. And you can see
Oh goodness, look at that.
big piece of snake skin there. The reason he's in your pool is because he's trying to soften up his skin
Right.
to lose it. So
Okay.
he's shedding his skin. That to me says that he's actually quite lively, doing incredibly well around here to actually get enough food that he's growing quickly. He's outgrown his skin.
So how many days would he have stayed here? Would he wait till his skin all came off before he left, or?
It's sort
If
of
we
instinct. When they feel as though it's time to go, they'll seek out water or a moist, humid area. Now, an hour or two would normally be enough, but obviously he's managed to get himself stuck in here, and that's been the problem. Seeing that skin loosen, seeing how energetic he was, how lively he was, this is a healthy snake. There's no need to do any more testing, put him through any more stress. He's been through enough. He can be released. All right, Pam, so we're going to hit the road.
Okay, Chris. Thanks so much for coming. I didn't know that it was going to be quite such a drama.
No, thank you. That was the most excitement I think I've had in years, don't worry. We need to release him in some bushland that's close to here, but I guess not so close that he's tempted to come back. So me and my little friend here are going to go for a drive. Did you want a little kiss before?
Oh, I'd love it. No, I'd rather have a kiss of you, Chrissy.
You're good.
Not the
You're
snake.
very good.
You can take the snake away. Mate, find it a good home.
I will, don't worry. This looks like the spot. Driving okay? All right. Sorry, trying to say hello. So, mate, no more annoying Pam and the grandkids, okay? It was nice of you to drop by, but just sometimes visitors just aren't welcome in certain situations, all right? You've got to know that. Now, mate, this isn't quite as beautiful as Pam's backyard, but I reckon this is your new home. What do you reckon? The good thing about this spot is it's nice and sheltered. Snakes like this, even though they're quite big, don't like to be in open spaces, so he can immediately go towards the undergrowth here, find a nice tree to conceal himself around, and he's going to be happy. I guess the one thing he really lacked in that pool, whilst he had the water which was softening up his skin, letting it fall off, he didn't really have an abrasive surface to finish the job. Here though, look at all that, it'll come straight off. But you can see it's pretty close here now. It's the first really good look I've had to really assess just how big he is and how impressive he is. Oh, hello. Can we talk about this? Get a bit of a go at my arm here too. So I think he's trying to tell me it's probably time. We'll send him off in this direction and hopefully just really finishing the job that he was trying to start in the pool. Getting rid of the skin here. Comes away pretty easily. Yeah, he's pretty strong. He's not strong enough to crush, but he's certainly strong enough that you feel it. Okay. Just doesn't want to say goodbye. Feeling's not mutual. So what's amazing here is that he's just gone a few metres there and the skin's just sliding off. So
The pool did the trick. All he needed was that extra bit of abrasion to finish it. He'd be happy on a couple of counts. First of all, he's out of the water. He's away from a very captive situation. But secondly, he's got rid of that skin. He's a new man. Must be Stefan.
Yes, Chris.
How are you?
Nice to meet you.
This is the amazing splodge.
This is the amazing splodge.
All right, mate. I've heard a lot about you. Just hope you don't disappoint. All right. So where's it all happening?
Out the back. Come through, I'll show you.
So what's he been doing?
Our problem with splodge is that he keeps escaping.
He looks very innocent.
Yeah, he looks it, but if you have a look out here, this is where he's escaping from. He scales this wall.
He scales that?
Yeah.
How?
Well, it took us a long time to figure that out. We had a neighbour who saw it. He was going up the drain pipe. There was something there, and he somehow scaled up the drain pipe.
Because that's a solid brick wall.
Yeah.
And a high brick wall too. I mean, that's, you know, it's 2 metres. My first impression of Splodge is he's tiny. How does he get up onto that wall and away? Is this for real? You know, my concern is that however he's getting out, he's pretty high up there.
He's very high.
And you've got major roads around here too. And he could live up to his name. Splodge could go Splodge if he ends up at the wrong spot.
Yeah, I mean, that's our worry. With Splodge escaping, I guess there's a couple of things that worry me. Mostly, I'm worried about him getting out onto the road, because he has escaped once before when I didn't close the gate properly, and he ran out onto the road and he got hit by a car, and that was very traumatic for him, for us. If you look over here, you can see marks on the vine. This is from the dog. So he's somehow...
How does... I mean, look,
he's scaling...
He's not the world's biggest dog.
No. And he also doesn't jump.
So he doesn't jump out?
If you hold... No, if you hold meat above him like this, he will not jump for it. He cannot jump.
Are you serious?
He climbs. Splodge is exceptionally crafty. He's cunning. He's really, really clever. Once he's done something once, it takes him no time at all the second time.
I hate to raise another point, but that's not Splodge damage there, is it?
If you see damage in the house, the chance of it being Splodge is reasonably high.
Look at this. How did he get up there?
Oh, he did that from inside.
It was already like that.
Yeah, no, he did that from inside. He went, there's a fly screen there, he climbed on top of the toilet, boom, straight out. If I lock him in the house, he's out.
People might think that Splodge is just crazy, but no, he is supremely clever.
I built this temporary dog door so that that closes and then there's no way through. Only the first time I did it, went out for 45 minutes and he was chewed his hole through there and his little head was poking through. So then I put the stronger board against it. The next time he ripped up this lino here, he just doesn't stop. It's just this determination. But anyway, I got video of him just scratching away at this lino, gnawing at that.
Can I have a look?
Yeah, we've got it here.
So this is you out of the house?
Yeah, we've just gone. He looks perfectly innocent when you first leave.
So if you keep him inside, he's still like this?
Yeah, and I mean, he knows that here is just getting into the rest of the house.
He's just busy, isn't he? Everything he does is with purpose.
You can actually see him actively looking for a new way to escape. And you can see now he's chewing at it.
When he sets his mind to a job, he wants to finish the job, doesn't he? Right now, there's a fair bit on Splodge's rap sheet. He scratches, he chews, and somehow he escapes the backyard. For a small dog, he's got a lot going on. So how do you actually know that he's escaping in the first place?
Well, it happened a couple of months ago. One of my neighbours gave me a call at work and said, "Stefan, are you at home?" I said, "No, I'm at work." "Why?" And he goes, "Your dog is on my roof."
On your roof?
On his roof. So, and this is not this neighbour, it's not even the next one, it's the one over.
So 3 doors down, he ends up on their roof?
On their roof. And he's done it now half a dozen times. I keep trying new ways to stop him and he keeps finding a way around.
Yeah.
And as soon as he gets to the person's place and he's with someone, he's the best behaved dog in the world. He really is.
This is the I'm innocent, what are you talking about, Dad? Me climb? No, never. Wouldn't dream of it. Splodge is just behaving so perfectly, but my feeling is this is an act. Maybe he's an actor and an acrobat.
You know, I'm really worried about him being hit by a car. Because that would be just, you know, the kids love him. Absolutely love him. Kind of at our wits' end, actually.
Yeah. So to work out how he's ending up there, we're going to need to catch him in the act.
It shouldn't be hard. These days, almost every time I go to work, I get a phone call.
Only when you're not here that he does it.
Only when I'm not here.
I think we've got to set up a sting.
All right.
The fact is, we don't know if he digs his way out, he shoos his way out, he jumps out, or he climbs out. I think it's time for some secret splodge surveillance. Multiple cameras aimed in all different directions, and let's just see what he's doing.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this. I'm going to catch him out. All right, Stefan, come with me. If he leaves the backyard, we're going to know about it. We're obviously going to focus most of our attention over in this corner, because that's where our evidence is. We think he's going there, but at the same time he could be using the drain pipe or even the vine.
Okay.
We just don't know.
Turn away, Splodge.
Splodge meets stealth. My feeling is that if we're here, Splodge isn't going to do his thing, so we can leave as long as the cameras remain. The truth will also be there. Righto, Stefan. That's our last camera in place. So if you want to lock up, we're going to leave out the sliding door, and hopefully Splodge will do what Splodge does.
Okay.
Whatever that is.
Stay.
All right, so we'll record on this one, and we go.
All right.
Never thought I'd say this, Splodge. Don't behave. All right, so we'll sneak around the front, and we'll watch the monitors from in there. Okay. So if we're really quiet, we should be able to sneak back in there. Let's see. It's on.
You know he might not actually climb. He doesn't go out every day.
Maybe he knows what we're up to. There's no sign of him. How long after you leave does he know? Oh, here we go. You're kidding. My God.
No way.
How's he doing that?
He's hanging on with one paw. He's pulling himself up with his left paw only.
It's like a dog chin up.
He doesn't use the vine that much, though.
He doesn't. He just goes straight up the bricks.
Yeah, he's going to get stuck. He's going to get
So
stuck.
he's holding himself up with the vine, like almost as a safety strap.
It's too high because the vine's going to move. He's not got the white vine anymore. He's not got the vine anymore.
He's incredible.
It can't have been easy to scale that wall.
No. He just stays there. Looks around, checks out the neighbour's garden.
That's a single brick width wall. It's only this wide.
Yeah. What I find interesting about this, though, is that he's not trying to run away. He's not scurrying off into the distance.
He's up on the roof.
He's up on the roof.
I guess I knew he was on the roof, but it's one thing to know it and another to see him just calmly jump up there.
So who lives there?
So that's Stephanie and James, the immediate neighbours. And then that's further...
I don't know who this might be.
Yeah. Steffi.
Yeah, hi. Are you at work or at home?
No, I'm actually at home.
Oh, okay, good. Well, he's back. He's on the roof.
I'm not...
But he is on the roof. So do you want me to bring him home, or what do you want me to do?
Look, is it too much trouble to bring him home? Can you get him down?
Yeah, I can get him down.
So it'll be just next door. There we go. You little rascal.
Hey, we were just watching you, Splodge.
Where was he?
He was just on the roof, his usual place.
Usual place? No, that's not usual, puppy.
Well, quite usual.
You enjoy this, don't you? Mr. Relaxed, Mr. Composed.
He he will visit anybody. The thing is, at first you think he likes you, and then you realise it's got nothing to do with that. It's just that you're another living, breathing creature. So you'll do.
And how does it feel to have him back?
Oh, it's good, but, you know, this has happened a few times before.
Yeah. Mate, I reckon we've got to make this time the last time.
Ah, you hear that? Last time. That would be fantastic, Chris. I tell you, if you can do that, that would actually set my mind at ease a lot.
So you want a solution?
Yeah, I need a solution. Like, the only other one I've got is actually locking him inside the house in a small confined area where he does destruction and he's unhappy. It's not good enough.
All right. You'll get your solution.
All right.
Just not now. Just give me some time, mate. I'll be back in just a little while.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it.
I'll see you later.
Come on, puppy. In we go.
So we're going to head down to Bondi Surf Club here and grade our solution to all of Splodge's problems. I don't think Stephanie's going to be expecting this one.
How you going?
Brownie.
What's going on? Now, thanks for this.
What's this all about?
I'll explain it all later. Is it in here?
It's in here. I'll give you a hand.
Righto. Heavy, isn't it?
Two-man job.
Splodge doesn't have so much separation anxiety. He's got more scenery anxiety. He's not comfortable unless he can see the world. A happy dog is a dog with a view. I think I've got a big future as a sign writer. Let's go get Stefan. Stefan?
Yeah?
Ready for you.
Come on, puppy.
We know Splodge is special. So, special dogs get special things. And this is the solution to your problem.
You're joking, aren't you?
So, we discovered that Splodge doesn't dig out, he doesn't jump out, he climbs out.
Yeah.
But the big giveaway when we watched that vision was when he got up on the wall there, he stayed there. Did you notice how happy he was?
Yeah.
He's very content. His big thing is being up high. Because when you're not around, he doesn't have his security. When you leave, he feels very alone. All he can hear are different noises. He can see the cats there. He can hear different things going on, planes flying overhead. In his mind, chaos is breaking out all around him. But he's down low. He can't see what's going on. He can't know for sure that he's going to be safe. So what does he do? He looks to escape any possible way to find out. Essentially, Splodge is a dog that doesn't die wondering. He needs to know what's going on and discover it for himself. So that's why he climbs up the walls and ends up on the roofs, just like the cats. There's a saying in the dog world that a happy dog is a dog with a view. It's why Chihuahuas love being in those handbags. Splodge is a small dog. He doesn't know that this is a safe neighbourhood. Cars going past, people talking. In his mind, those people, those machines could be conspiring against him. He doesn't want to run away, otherwise he'd be gone. He just wants to get up high.
You reckon, Splodge, are you going to climb?
I've got to say, I'm actually quite nervous about this. You have a gut feeling, a belief that what you think is happening is really happening, but it's not until you put your solution into action that you know.
Up here, puppy. Splodge. Splodge, come here.
Oh, and we're about to find out.
Up.
Sit down.
On your throne, Splodgy.
Wait.
Look at that, looking out in the neighbourhood.
Looks pretty comfortable up there.
See how his ears are up?
Yeah.
He's got a certain pride and a certain confidence in the way he sits there, because all of a sudden, he's the king of the world. I can see over that fence, over the next one, into the backyards. This is what he wants. Is that a smile, Splodge? I was confident this would work. I didn't think it would work so quickly.
Come on. Up you come.
There you go.
That took 5 seconds to teach him. That's
But he teaches himself. This is his instinctive drive. This is what he wants to do.
That's very nice.
But I think we've got our result. In fact, I can see we've got our result.
Yeah. This is nothing like what I expected. I expected something that was, containing, barricades, stopping him getting out, closing him in. This is liberating him.
He has urges, he has desires, and I think to suppress them in a dog like Splodge could only lead to more problems. Here, we're working with his strengths, we're working with his desires, giving what he wants, but also you get what you want, which is his security and his safety. What a response. I could not have dreamed he'd take to it that quickly and that strongly. He loves it.
Thank you very much, Chris.
My
That's
pleasure.
awesome.
No worries at all.
He's taken to this like a duck to water.
He just looks so content now.
It's all right. I think it's going to be fine, okay? It's going to be good. Sorry, my cat's got an injury here. Can we see your vet?
Yeah, no, I'll get Chris for you straight away. Just take a seat there.
Thank you. Cheers. As soon as possible, please.
Sure.
It's all be all right. Well, I just received a phone call from Mum and Dad, and they were saying to me that Blackie's just arrived at home and he's suffering from some kind of injury, but I don't know exactly what it is. He disappeared for a day and a half, and all of a sudden he's just come to the backyard and he's looking like he's in a lot of pain.
Hey Michael, how you going? Mate, alright, come straight through. Hey little guy. Yeah, go.
Yeah, mate, he's just... I don't know what's happened to him. He's just been injured somehow, and I just hope he's going to be okay. I'm just really concerned for him. Okay, just put him down here.
Yeah, just straight there. Alright, so tell me what's happened.
Okay, well, he disappeared for a day and a half, mate, and all of a sudden he's just rocked up in the back porch and he's been dragging himself, so he's got no movement in the back legs.
He seems pretty flat and lethargy.
Okay.
Immediately when I look at Blackie, I'm just taken by the fact that he's just bewildered. He doesn't know what's happened to him. You see those injuries. He's been through hell. So no idea of what's happened?
No idea. He doesn't look like there's any blood from... Oh, I can't see any blood, so... All right, I'll have to check out his back legs. It's all right, mate. I'm just here,
this, mate. This might hurt a bit, mate. Come on. How old's Blackie now?
Nearly 8 months.
Okay. So,
doesn't look right, does it?
No, the front legs are working okay there.
Yeah.
He's got strength there, but
look at that back leg there.
Yeah, that's what worries me. So he's just hanging limp there. His back legs are basically in an absolute mess. That right leg is just hanging there.
What do you think's wrong with him?
Either something like a fall or being hit by a car.
That's not good.
Come on, Blake, just lie there for me, mate.
Come on, it's all right. Stay there.
Jeez, that's just hanging limp there.
Yeah, it's no good.
He's certainly either done the ligaments or has a fracture in that lower part of his leg there.
Okay. So he's going to be okay, mate. He just means so much to us.
So he's got an issue down the bottom of his leg here.
Right.
But what really worries me, mate, is the top part of his femur here.
Yeah.
What's going on there? Ooh. I'd say he's got a fracture there.
Okay.
Come on, mate. Sorry, buddy. You just relax there. All right, so, mate, he's got major issues in this back right leg here. Let's have a look at the back left, though. Mate, I think he's got a problem here as well. Just at the base of the femur. See, one leg with a problem is manageable, but two, we're getting to the stage where he's going to have real trouble getting around.
That leg's not as bad as the other leg, is it?
No, it's not.
Okay.
I mean, he can use the leg at least, but yeah, mate, this could be a real problem.
I just hope he's going to be okay. It's all right.
We're going to have to take some x-rays and just see what is going on. I can feel there's problems there, but without taking an x-ray, we don't know for sure. I guess if this is any sort of a guide to his will to live, then, you know, I'd be pretty keen to do everything we can for him just to see if we can get him through. This is just a bit of a check everything shot.
Yep. Okay, baby.
What's that?
Look at my boobs. That's my problem.
It's hard to avoid them right now. What is that?
It's a baby possum. So I'm just warming him up. He's becoming really cold.
Thought you'd slip a chicken fillet there for a second.
Chicken fillet.
Despite Blackie having so many things wrong with him right now, the thing is that he's young. And when he's young, he's got every chance of healing himself. So I guess in response to that, we're going to give him every shot.
X-ray. Obviously, Blackie's had just an awful few days, but what Blackie really needs right now is a little bit of luck. He can make do with 3 legs, but he can't make do with 2 good legs and 1 bad one. He needs 3 functioning legs, and hopefully these X-rays will show that. Whew. It's pretty amazing. We'll just put him in there. Come on, Blackie.
It's okay.
Hey, they're incredible. All right, so that's his pelvis here and his legs here. Now, his right leg should be sitting like this one here.
Why is it so far back?
See how there it's been pushed right through? So he's fractured his right femur, his right leg, basically where it inserts into the hip joint. And it's been rammed right through. The problem with this break being so bad and so far away from where it should be is the fact that when it pushes out, when it snaps, when that bone snapped and ended up there, it's taken the nerves with it. And it's torn the nerves. That's why his leg's outstretched and has no feeling and has no movement.
Yeah.
The problem with that is, I'm not going to mince my words, we can't regrow those nerves. If that leg's not functioning, it's more of a hindrance to him than a help. I know it's hard to take, but we're looking at that, we're going to have to amputate that leg. Telling anyone that their much-loved pet is going to lose a leg, it's one of the toughest jobs a vet has. You don't want to be in that situation, trust me. But as if that's not enough, the problem we've got is that he's got a fracture in this one as well. So he's got a fracture in his left leg and a really, really bad fracture in his right leg. They say with cats and dogs that they're born with 3 legs and a spare. Well, right now he's got 2.
And no spares.
And the spare's flat.
Yeah.
Well, we've got to fix this fracture.
Okay.
If we don't do that, I'm sorry to say, there's nothing we can do. This is going to be the fight of a lifetime for him. Blackie can't function on just 2 legs. He needs 3 working legs. I can manage with him losing 1 leg, but if Blackie loses the extra leg and only has 2 functioning ones, there's no point.
How could this have happened? What inflicted this so much injury to Blackie?
I'll level with you. To me, that looks like he's been kicked from behind. The simple fact that very few things cause those femurs to rip themselves out of joint and be pushed forward. So whatever's happened to him has been a sudden impact from behind and forced that femur forward like that. To my way of thinking, a deliberate act. What, for a laugh, for a cheap shot, to impress your mates? I don't know, but it sickens me. I know it's probably hard for you to take on board the fact this could have been something very deliberate, but I guess that's the way the evidence points at the moment.
Very distressing. Very upsetting, if anything, so... We'll do what we have to do. He is a fighter, and I'm sure he will get through, and, you know, I just hope he's going to be okay.
It's just amazing, isn't he? He's just agreeable to any situation.
Still purring.
So he will need a big clip, because obviously both right and left back legs are being operated on.
Okay, so where will we do it from?
I'm pretty much going to shave the back half of Blackie. So pretty much from here back. Blackie's got a big anaesthetic, a leg amputation plus a leg pinning all in the one surgery. It's about as big an operation as you can get. That is the right side, isn't it? Right. That's it, the leg that has to go. Good. That's important. All right, the moment of truth for Blackie. So I'm going to take off the right leg with the amputation first of all, and Tony steps in and reconstructs that left leg. So let's go for it.
Good thing with this, without the nerve supply to the leg now, he won't feel it when he wakes up because the leg's effectively numb.
That's it. Yeah.
So that'll be in his advantage.
Yeah.
There we go. Sciatic nerve just there.
I guess an amputation sounds simple enough. It's just a matter of getting the leg off, but you do have to be careful, obviously, for the fact that there is a very big artery, a very big vein, and also a nerve in there. You've got to find those, just delicately remove them, tie them off, and then get on with business.
If you were to go behind it, it'd be a bit easier for... I can rotate, yeah, just to be a bit easier for you to... There we go.
Yeah, Blackie, that's it.
End of an era.
Easy as that.
We're back up to 99.
Okay. So we've now removed Blackie's leg, and now it's a matter of just getting those muscle layers and pulling them up over the bone that's been left behind, just so there's no rubbing and no irritation. And then we stitch the skin closed, and Blackie's our three-legged cat. Okay, so job is now half done. We now move on to the other side and complete the job.
This is quite distorted, this fracture, because of the healing. We're into his joint now. We can see the joint fluid.
It's amazing he's actually got around so well on it, considering it's fractured.
Yes, it's not far out of joint, but it does need replacing. So we're just breaking down all the adhesions. Cat's bones, someone once said, as long as you have one end of a bone and the other end of a bone in the same room, that it'll heal. And they have remarkable recuperative powers with fractures.
Even though the amputation, I guess, looks the most dramatic, the most important part of today's surgery is what Tony's doing. Repairing that leg, reconstructing the base of that femur so it can support weight is the essential ingredient in today's surgery. If that doesn't hold, if that can't support Blackie's weight, then Blackie has no chance of walking again.
So what we're going to do here is put a stainless steel wire to stop it rotating, and then we put a small pin up the centre which holds it in position. It's a little bit of force required.
Obviously, repairing a leg is always important, but in Blackie's case, this just has to be 100% straight and support all that weight, because if it doesn't work, Blackie can't walk, and that'd be no future for Blackie.
There we go. Now the finished product, the fracture's now realigned and his kneecap will now function. So we're just stitching up the muscles and the connective tissue to help support the joint. We'll just make it a little bit tighter than it had been before, just to give him a little bit of extra support in the joint. And we'll know in the next day or so how quickly he's going to be up and about. Okay, final stitch.
So really our work's done here now. It's really just a waiting game to see if Blackie can get the coordination, I guess, and the willpower as well to walk again.
It's a little bit stiff still from all the adhesions, but that kneecap is now sliding back in the groove that it was intended to.
This is outrageous. What are we doing here? Hello, how are you? I'm Chris. Nice to meet you. This is amazing. Little Blackie. He's a little bit quiet at the moment, obviously, after everything he's been through. You can see what we've done here. So that's the leg that's been operated on there.
Yes.
And on the other side is where the leg's been taken off. Yeah.
Blackie, back, Bonnie. So.
I was actually really worried about how Andrew was going to react to seeing Blackie with just 3 legs and a big scar on the other leg. But geez, she walked in there, looked at it, surveyed the situation, went, yeah, about as I expected. Turns out she's a tough one in the family. It's obviously going to take quite a while for him to fully recover. He's lost such an important part of his body. Plus, he's had an operation here at the same time. So it's a really tough thing for him to get over, and he's only young. Look, he's just shown that Blackie spirit and really fought on really hard. But I can tell that he's happy to see you. I can feel that he's purring, and
And when he stretches his feet out like that, it's a sign of comfort. It's a sign that he's very comfortable.
Yeah.
And then it's a sign of affection as well. Do you mind if I say, tell me if this is right, or Blackie, in there, or Morphos? Hey? It's okay?
Yes.
Close?
It's spot on.
It's okay?
All right, mate. Love you and leave you. I'll be back very soon to come.
Bye-bye.
Hey Blackie, how you doing? Oh, you look good. Yes, you do. You look good. I'm going to take you through for your exercises, okay? Yeah, we'll go see Chris. Oh, you're purring again. There we are. Just gentle. Come on, Ben. Here he is.
Hey, Blackie.
There he is.
Hey, matey. You're still hanging in there, aren't you? He's got a pretty good range of motion there.
Yeah.
Hasn't really stiffened up.
No.
So we'll just give him a little bit of physio and make sure all these joints are nice and mobile.
Yep.
Starting at the toes and work our way out.
Oh, he likes that.
You don't mind that, Blackie?
Nice, that's good.
Blackie, if all your joints are moving freely, we might be able to give you a bit of a test drive.
Yay.
You up for it? I guess the best way to think of Blackie's recovery is like a human. If a human had an operation like this and just lay down in bed for weeks, they would seize up. And Blackie's no different. He has to get mobile. If we can't get this back leg to move, then he's just no chance of ever walking again. All right, so what we might do is get a little supporting brace, otherwise known as a T-towel.
Yes.
And if you can just hold him up there,
Get him up,
we'll
yep.
run this through here.
There we go. That's it. There's a good boy.
Even just that static movement there
Yeah.
is good because it's strengthening up those
legs.
those quadricep muscles
Yeah.
and hamstrings of his.
Yeah.
There we go.
Good boy.
There we
Good
go.
boy.
Come
Come, Blackie.
There we go. There we go.
Good boy.
There we go.
Come on then.
It doesn't look like we're achieving huge successes here, but you know, it's little steps in every sense of the word. Even just putting some weight on that leg lets him know how to balance himself and also builds up the strength in those muscles. And it takes a lot of time. He's never had to walk this way before, and he's learning. It's good, Blackie. It's good.
Come on.
There we
That's
go.
it. Good boy.
Good boy. I'm pretty confident that the family will be able to handle the physio. I think maybe if they transfer the time they were spending cooking to physiotherapy, then we're talking 12 hours a day, I'd say, that they'll be able to devote to Blackie, so they'll be fine. Hey, Michael.
Hey, mate.
Hey, mate.
How you going?
Got something to show you. So come right on through.
Thanks.
And your boy, mate.
Wow. Oh, wow. How are you, mate? How you going?
Now, we want to test him out.
Okay.
You got to
wow.
see this, okay?
All right, I want to see this.
Blackie, you ready? You going to show off? Have a look at this. He now has a bit more faith in this leg.
Oops.
And see, look at this.
Yeah.
So he's actually supporting that now.
Yeah. Wow.
Which is great.
Yeah, of course. That's great. That's good news. Yeah, it's fantastic. Over the moon, mate. This is awesome. Yeah. This is great. All right, now that I'm taking Blackie home, what do I have to do? Is there anything that do I have to exercise his leg or?
I guess the most important thing is to not let him get too confident, because he feels now as though he's capable of doing anything. He's not, so we just need to just hold him back and try and restrict his exercise a fair bit. The important thing is also to give him plenty of physio, so still stretch out that left leg of his, that back left leg of his, and make sure it doesn't develop any fibrous tissue, and then he keeps that nice and mobile and nice and strong. Blackie's just made a truly incredible recovery, and I'm almost in awe of the little guy. He's moving around brilliantly, he's happy, he's content, and you bet he's ready to go home. And Blackie, mate, this is a big moment.
It sure is.
Hey, you've been so good, Blackie. There you go.
Missed you, mate.
See, Black. See, mate, you stay out of trouble, all right? See you.
Thanks. Cheers, thank you.
I'm just totally thrilled. I can't believe it. Seeing him today and the way he's been moving around and that, but it's a great result. It's good to have Blackie back again, so he's in good spirits and very, very pleased. It's time to go home.
Bruce, how you going?
Chris Brown?
I am, yeah.
How are you, mate? I'm really pleased to see you.
Yeah, what have we got here?
This is a falcon from upstairs.
Where was he found?
Mate, we found him up on the base of the towers.
Yeah.
And he looks really weak. Yeah. And, I mean, you can see how he's kind of laying down. He just let us catch him.
But he's a peregrine falcon.
I know. There's a pair of them up there. I don't know if it's a male or a female, but he looked crook, mate.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked like he had some damage to his wings were really weak.
And no one's injured from catching him?
Mate, no one's hurt. No.
They're
no,
ferocious.
nobody.
They're
no.
normally ferocious, but he looks very depressed and very almost calm. I've got to say, it's the last place I'd expect to see a peregrine falcon in the middle of a shopping centre. I'm amazed no one's hurt because these guys are normally one of the most efficient killers in the animal kingdom. Yet he looks depressed, he looks sick, and I'm quite worried. So you've seen him before?
Oh, mate, he's part of the family up here. The cleaners have named him. That's either Frank or Judy. We don't know which one it is, but the cleaners have named...
He just shouldn't be this calm?
The other thing is, mate, we're pretty sure that this time of year, and last year and the year before, they've got a clutch of chicks up there.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, we haven't heard the chicks for a couple of days now, but there's a nest. They have a nest. We know exactly where the nest is.
Yeah.
Just watch your step around here. You know, it's quite a bit of low stuff.
Have you seen the other falcon out there recently?
Yeah, we saw the mate this morning.
Yeah. But you haven't heard chicks?
Not today, we haven't heard chicks, no.
So that's the mate right there?
Yeah. Been together for 3 years at least.
Wow. Has she been attacking people if they get close?
She swoops people, yeah.
Okay, so I guess we've got to be fairly careful.
Yeah, very careful, mate. Yeah, but, stand out.
Just feel compelled to keep on looking around, make sure she's not going to come in and...
Yeah. Oh, she will. She'll come swooping back in.
Can you pick her across here? There she's there. Here she comes here. Gee, she's fast. Can I get a helmet? Feel just a little bit exposed standing here 200 metres above the ground, which is the fastest animal in the world, circling around. The world's most lethal killing machine, just circling around me. So the nest is over here?
Yeah, mate. Underneath that little gutter area.
So you haven't heard anything coming from there recently?
Not recently, not today, no.
There's nothing there, is there?
No.
But sometimes from this spot, they're loud enough you can actually hear them?
That's right.
Yeah. The hard thing is that we can't see the nest. It's tucked away in underneath that little awning there, which makes perfect sense. It's hot up here, it's very exposed to the elements. Got to get those chicks out of the wind and out of the sun. So Frank and his lovely missus have found a good place. $1 million views. Well, mate, so I've got to get him back to the clinic as soon as I can, but we'll keep in touch. And...
Yeah, mate. Please keep me posted, mate, because we're really
You're attached to him,
we're very special bird this one, mate.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well done catching.
Yeah. Okay,
all right. I'll talk to you soon then.
Take care, Doc. Catch you soon.
So, Sarah, I might just need a bit of a hand because he's actually not that feisty, which is a bit of a worry, but he's still a falcon.
He's still a falcon, that's it.
And he looks like a peregrine.
Okay.
Hey, mate.
Hello there.
So he's been found up at the shopping centre up the road, and he's just been hopping around, not wanting to fly. So, and as you can see, he just looks a bit dazed.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if he's flown into a window or whether as he's been flying past something, he's clipped it with his wing.
Okay.
It's hard to say. You can see he's not even attacking me there.
No, not very much, is he? It's unusual for them.
You don't really expect being a vet in Bondi to deal with falcons, especially peregrine falcons. It's a real pleasure, but at the same time, that pleasure can be tinged with a lot of pain if you get it wrong, because they're efficient and they're fast. Ow.
Good shot.
Funny, they've got that big beak that looks so intimidating, but it's all about the claws for them.
Yeah, it is. Look at the size of them.
And then
he bites you.
I don't think that's pain that he's responding to there.
No, I think he's just frightened.
That feels fine there.
Yeah, no, they look good.
That feels fine. Bit of a feel of these legs here. Falcon yoga. The fact he's hopping around worries me a little bit because
Well, these guys just don't come down on the ground, so.
they're great flyers and they're about as lethal and about as effective in the sky as you can get. So for him to come down to the ground is
Yeah,
very
it's
strange.
really unusual. They don't really like people very much.
No. The fact that this predator could be caught by a couple of security guards that aren't used to handling animals says a lot. It says that this guy is severely incapable of defending himself. He's ill and he needs help very quickly. Okay. All right. His chest doesn't sound perfect.
Okay.
There's a few abnormal sounds in there.
Right. Sorry,
Actually, can you see that? See in the corner of the mouth
Yes,
there?
yeah, I do.
Looks like a big plaque of fungus, so thrush. And that is a classic sign of weakness in birds.
Weakness, yeah. Yeah.
So that little yeast, if it gets a chance, just grabs hold of their immune system if it is weakened.
Yeah.
It starts to grow and makes feeding difficult. And it can extend down
It compromises the
their
bird.
throat a little bit, yeah. I've got two main concerns here. One is for our falcon that is obviously quite ill, but secondly, it's for the nest that he has left behind. Because on that nest are chicks that need to be fed, and with just one bird looking after those chicks, they're very vulnerable to being underfed or being attacked by predators when that bird goes off to feed. So I thought we'd give him both antibiotics and a thrush treatment. Obviously, thrush is the main problem.
Yeah.
You can see there in his mouth.
Yeah.
But also just to prevent any secondary bacterial infections.
Okay.
He's just generally weak, from what I can see, and obviously all those little bugs that can get at him having a bit of a go right now.
Had a go. Okay. Is his meal stat here?
Yeah. So if you can just roll that into a little ball, I'll just give him that first.
Okay. Not a good boy. What a good boy.
Simple as that, Frankie.
Yeah. It'll make you go faster.
Right now, we're not really mimicking the natural situation. In the wild, he'd be hunting during the day and probably only catching one or, on a really good day, 2 pigeons. But here we're going to feed him probably 4 or 5 times a day, just small amounts, just trying to build up his energy reserves. We're obviously giving him more than he probably needs, but that's all about putting those extra deposits into his bank. So when he goes back to the wild, he can draw on those deposits and use that protein and that fat to help him survive and I guess live life a bit easier. It's a bit tricky with these.
That's what I was thinking, lots of your fingers.
So that's a medication called Nilstat, which is an antifungal treatment. He's essentially got a yeast infection in his mouth, and this is going to go in there, treat that yeast, also treat any yeast that have started to grow down through his throat there. It's a treatment we'll use twice a day for the next few days until he's ready to be released. It works pretty well, but everything else needs to be going well with it for him to make a recovery. His immune system has to do the rest. The medication will help, but it's up to Frankie. Tricky is just getting these electrolytes over there.
Oh, that's all right. You'll feel better. Yum. Yum. Good boy. Yes.
I guess the nagging concern I've got is the fact that peregrine falcons sit at the very top of the food chain. They pick off everything underneath them. Their main source of food is pigeons. If the council, for example, is poisoning pigeons to reduce their numbers, our falcon could have come in and taken one of those pigeons that's been poisoned. And as a result, he could have taken on the toxin himself.
Good boy.
Morning, Frankie. Good to see you.
He looks a lot better, doesn't he?
Doesn't it?
And spiced, yeah. God, look how pretty he is. You're looking better, aren't you? He's saying, feed me, I'm hungry. Good boy.
It's one way to keep you quiet.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's a good boy. Yeah. Could build up the strength for your babies.
It was me. Finger and meat, they're different things. I guess what I'm most happy about right now is the fact that he's a lot more alert, he's a lot more feisty, he's pecking at my finger, which is ironically a good thing, and he's really keen on this meat. Yesterday, look, food was a secondary priority. It was more about him just surviving, whereas today, he's really pushed past that and he's looking to build up his energy reserves, and that's a good step.
Come on. Oh, that's a good boy.
Chris, you're not going to believe this. I've just got the guys from Westfield, the security guys. Yeah. I think this is the partner to the Falcon. You're kidding. No. Oh, God.
Can you grab Pluto now?
Sure. I've just got straight away. Yeah.
So I think this is the female.
I think this is the female, yeah, to the one that's there already.
Jeez.
There. All right, Blue. All right, I'll take this one.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks, buddy.
I believe this. That could be the one that they referred to as Judy, which is the female peregrine, which, oh no. So she's meant to be looking after the young. She's meant to be looking after the babies, and if, geez, she's feisty. You've got a bit more go than your husband, don't you? I can't see those white lumps that Frank's got there on Judy here, so that's a good sign. For me, this is just so bizarre. But to get one peregrine falcon a year would be incredible. To get two is unbelievable. Initially, I was thinking with Frank that it may have been something infectious that he was carrying, and certainly with that candida, that thrush in his mouth, that looked like it could be the most likely cause. But Judy here doesn't have it. She's clear of the thrush, so you know, I hate to say it, but you've got to start thinking that they could have been poisoned. They're big on pigeons, they eat a lot of pigeons. Unfortunately, people poison a lot of pigeons too. And if their food supply is being poisoned, they're at the top of the food chain, they're going to get the poison too. The plan now is to put them together, basically reunite Frank and Judy. That way their stress is going to be a lot less. And then we'll feed them right up, get some antibiotics, antifungals into them, try to reverse the effects of this poisoning. But I've got this nagging concern. If she's here, and if he's already here, who's looking after the babies? Without mum or dad, these chicks can only survive for 6, maybe 12 hours. They've got huge demands. They need to be fed constantly, so they're very vulnerable. We have to go up there right now, see if we can find any live chicks, and if there are live chicks, we've got to get them out of there. Got a feeling you might recognise who's in here. Who's this? Huh? Hey. Frank, Judy, Frank. You know each other. You've seen them nesting up here?
Yeah, well, we've actually seen them just nesting over the edge here.
Yep.
And we've seen male and female coming out from under here. And we've heard the chicks. We've heard them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just in the last few days?
But we haven't heard them recently.
For me, the big panic station is the fact that we've got Frank and Judy, both mum and dad, in the clinic.
Right.
If we've got live chicks down there, then we've got to work out a way to keep those chicks alive.
Correct.
So, all right. Okay, the crew have rigged up a bit of a camera here.
Yep.
So we might get that over the edge, see if we can have a look in that nest.
All right.
Be glad to know I'm okay with heights.
Are you sure, mate?
Yeah. This is incredible. It's Peregrine Falcon penthouse, isn't it?
You got it?
All right, so I might get you on the monitor if I can, Bruce.
All right, matey, you got this?
Yeah, I've got that. I hope I've got it.
All right, go down a bit, mate.
Yeah. You just direct me into that nest there.
Yeah, go down a bit more. Okay, left. Go left a bit.
Yeah, how's that?
Just down a little bit.
Peregrine falcons are supremely crafty, and they put their nest in, of course, the most secluded spot in Sydney, where 200 metres up and their nest is down on a ledge 20 metres below us. It's a hell of a place to get to.
Okay, stop. You can definitely see a nest. Looks like there's a bone in there.
Yeah, great.
And there's lots of pigeons, feathery type of stuff, and there's lots of dung, mate, lots of poop.
The fact is, if we do see chicks down there alive, we've really got to swing into a full-on rescue operation straight away.
obviously they've been in there.
Definitely been in there, mate, but I don't see any sign of life, unfortunately.
No movement at all?
No movement at all, mate. No.
Especially up the back there? There's nothing.
Just move it down a bit.
Yeah.
Stop there.
Yeah.
Mate, it's pretty dark up the back, but I cannot see a single thing down there moving around, unfortunately.
No, mate, it's a shame. All right, look, we're recording that, so I'll come up, just have a bit of a look myself.
Okay, mate, you right?
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed. We have everything set up here with this window cleaning module, and the plan was going to be to lower that down and get right in there, and we could have retrieved the chicks.
They're not chicks there, are they?
I don't know, mate.
Even if they thought we were mum and dad,
They'd be at you. They'd be looking for food, wouldn't
they'd be
they?
starving by now.
Yeah.
I mean, the worry for me is that obviously whatever's affected mum and dad could very well have affected the chicks.
Right.
I mean, the chicks are small, they're defenceless. They can't handle any sort of level of toxins like mum and dad can. So if it's knocked mum and dad around, then it's sure going to knock around these little chicks.
Definitely. Yeah.
It's sad, isn't it? Hello, see this? Last feed. After this one, you get it yourself, all right? Guys, what do you reckon? Take a good look at it, it's the last one. Ooh. You just get the impression that they're ready to go. So Frankie, we'll take that. It's a lot like fueling up the aeroplane before it takes off. Obviously, you can't fly without fueling his tank, so we give him a good feed, his last feed before he makes his flight. There's been a definite change since they've been in here in their mood. They've gone from initially being pretty much okay with being handled and have everything done to them, but now they just look edgy. They just want to fly. They just want to leave. The fact is, you can almost kill them with kindness. If you keep them in captivity for too long, they become quite unfit and they almost forget what is required to survive out there. So we've got to look after them, we've got to get them better, but at the same time we can't get them accustomed to being handled and being on the 3 meals a day, served up menu. They have to be a little bit battle hardened before they go out. Ready to fly? Clear for takeoff?
Just watch your head, mate. Yeah. You can hear them. Can you hear them?
Yeah. You tell them we were coming.
Yeah, there should be 3 of them out here.
Telling Frank and Judy are coming back home.
Look at that, mate. Look at
coming in here right now. Yeah, they're here.
Yeah, they're here.
We're getting buzzed.
So, mate, you reckon we're ready for this?
I hope we're ready. Yeah.
Do you reckon they're ready?
It's up to them.
Okay.
I hope they can fly.
You're the boss, mate.
I've been telling them how to fly, but I'm hoping they know more than I do. It's pretty exciting. It's been a long way getting to here, a lot of work, a lot of bites, a lot of claw marks, but this is hopefully the moment where they go back to being what they should be, which is birds cruising over Sydney, and it should be great. I'm thinking that Frank came in first, so Frank has the first flight rights, I think.
What do you reckon he's thinking about, mate?
Right now he's just assessing the wind conditions, wind out of the southeast at 5 knots,
Got to put a bit of flap on the right rudder.
He's going to be like a plane. He just wants to go into the wind and adjust the flaps.
He's starting to perk up. Look at him. Oh, look at that, mate. That's awesome.
He's away.
That is fantastic.
And soaring.
Oh, look at that, mate. Absolutely awesome.
Go, Frankie.
Mate. He's looking a little tired, but he's up and about, eh?
He just takes a while just to get used to flying it.
Yeah.
But he's gone.
Fantastic, mate. Look at that.
That's great.
That's awesome.
I'm a vet in Bondi. Falcons aren't my thing. But to spend some time with them, to learn what they like, what they don't like, how they think, it's been special for me. And this is just the moment that caps it all off.
You got it?
Yeah.
Go.
He's not going to waste the time here. See you, Judy. You've been fun. You keep on giving Frank hell, all right? There you go.
Look at that. Come on, gorgeous.
They do just suck it all in, don't they?
They do. She's checking everything out, isn't she?
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at those talons, mate.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Awesome, isn't it? You see that?
Hope she doesn't backflip off.
Very sorry about that. you've got to lessen your weight before you take
Exactly,
off.
mate. Yeah, drop some ballast.
That's right. This isn't that abnormal for her just to sit here and really assess the conditions. The reality is that their wings do stiffen up and she just loses the fitness.
Oh, look, there she goes.
Yeah, she's away.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Congratulations, mate. You've made my day and the rest of the security crew and the cleaners, everybody who works here, mate. This is just absolutely awesome.
You love these, don't you?
We do, mate. We love them.
I can tell.
Yeah. I just work here. They live here, mate. This is their home, and this is just fantastic, mate. Absolutely fantastic. Well done, mate.
Hi Adam, how are you?
I'm not too bad.
Good, how's Billy doing?
He's not really good at all. He was playing in the park last Saturday and he got bowled over by a bigger dog and he's had a limp ever since. I'd like to get it checked out if I could.
Okay, look, that's no problem at all. What I'll do is I'll get Chris for you and we'll get him to take a look. Okay. Oh, Billy. All right, just hang on for a minute, Adam.
G'day Adam, how you going, mate?
I'm okay, thanks, Chris.
Nice to meet you. This is
too.
little Billy. And Sarah's told me Billy's been in the wars. All right, come on through. He doesn't look too happy, although I'm guessing that's how he normally is, that little lazy little Billy boy. Put him in the table. Yeah. All right, so he's been limping.
The back left leg.
Back left, okay. And how did it start?
He was in the park playing with a staffy and they're running around and he got bowled over and I just noticed afterwards that he started having that left leg limp. He was starting to favour it a bit and I thought I'll leave it a few days, just see whether it's going to cure itself. Thought it might have been a sprain because he doesn't seem to be bothered about it at all. He still seems to be pretty happy.
So you can see even now that he's actually not even putting that much weight on that back leg. And just tap it there and it lifts up. Whereas this one here, that's the heavy leg there because he's putting a lot through that one. So there's obviously some pain and some discomfort and he's just not sure about putting weight through that leg. The thing about puppies is they're quite flexible, so typically injuries, if they get them, they heal very quickly and they're usually fairly minor in nature. So the fact that he's actually hurt himself and stayed hurt is, I guess, what worries me. So you're finding this injury is actually slowing him down?
Look, it does slow him down a little bit, but I find that when he's playing, he's running after dogs, or he loves chasing after balls, especially golf balls, and he seems to be distracted from the whole thing and doesn't seem to be worried about it all.
He's a golf ball chaser?
Yep, absolutely. I've actually got one here if you want to have a look.
Yeah, let's have a look.
Sure.
That is a golf... that used to be a golf ball. That's unbelievable. And so he does chase this for a lot of time?
Oh, yeah.
How long a day would he chase that ball?
Oh, he could chase it for an hour or more.
Yeah? Now, his obvious love of balls might actually work in our favour. I wouldn't mind getting him out in the corridor right now and just see him chase after this, because that's going to give us a good idea about how it performs when he's really pushing it.
Okay.
So my thinking is that the thrill of the chase really overrides any pain he's feeling.
Okay. That's just adrenaline rush, is it?
It is, it is. But he might still be hurting quite a bit there. I want to see how that leg actually performs when he's chasing.
Okay.
There's a definite hop when he runs back. He sort of skips on those back legs of his.
But when he's going fast, you don't really see it. Just it's like normal.
Yep. He just loves it, doesn't he? How long does he do this for?
Oh, as long as you throw it. So, Chris, what do you think it is?
There's a couple of possibilities. Either he's really sprained that joint while he's been playing with another dog and wrenched his hip out and stretched some of the ligaments. He could have hip dysplasia, but really to know what's going on, we need to take an X-ray. And that's just a simple fact. That way we can see how those bones are sitting, and from then on we can actually work out a plan for him.
Yeah, well, if we get X-rays, it's going to make me feel a bit more comfortable knowing at least it's been checked out.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, mate. Sorry. What's interesting is actually how much this is really affecting him, even though he doesn't really show it. If you look at his left leg there compared to his right one there, have a look at the muscle difference. His left leg, his leg's a lot skinnier. It's just because the muscles haven't been used, whereas the right leg's all bulky because he's carrying most of his weight actually on that leg. And as a result, the muscle's wasted away. X-ray. So the reason Billy's limping is because this bone here is weak. It's on the brink of crumbling. It just cannot support his body weight the way it is right now.
So what can we do about it?
It sounds dramatic being a young dog, but we've actually got to do surgery. We're going to remove that bit of bone there and just leave that femur floating next to the hip joint, not attached to it.
And is the hip still stable?
Amazingly, yeah. You'll be amazed how we can actually walk without a hip joint. Although it sounds dramatic, it works, and it works well. In a matter of weeks, maybe a month, you'll be chasing that golf ball again.
Oh, has to be done, has to be done. I can't leave him in pain like this.
It was always going to be a hard one. He came in with an essentially happy dog that limped occasionally. Essentially, I'm lopping off part of his little dog's leg, and he's not going to take that kindly. And he needs to know that's the right thing to do, and it certainly is the right thing for that dog to have done to it. We've made our cut, we're now working our way down through the muscle layers. The hip joint is covered in a decent layer of muscle. We're now going between those, pushing them aside until we can actually expose the hip joint. And we're going to go in there, get the top of the femur and basically lop it off. I guess the next step's the money step, because we position our chisel, essentially it's a chisel in there, now get the hammer and bang down. And it takes that head of the femur on one side and leaves the rest of the femur remaining on the other side. So this is the bit that, I guess, fixes the problem. So there we go. So this is the ball of his femur. Now that should be really nice, healthy, white cartilage, but you can see it's quite moth-eaten. It really looks as though it's just fading away. So Billy's going to be a lot better off not having that in there. So now it's out. All that's really left to do is close up that incision and let Billy wake up. How's our boy? Hey, Billy boy. How you going, matey? You're looking good. Looking real good. Some breakfast there for him as well.
Billy can have some brekkie.
How's he going?
Yeah, really good. It's really bright this morning.
You smile? Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's much more cheerful this morning.
Yeah. I wouldn't expect he's going to try and use that leg too much today anyway. It's very early days.
Absolutely.
Geez, the mouth's okay though. And the appetite?
Doesn't affect his appetite.
G'day Adam, it's Chris here from the vet clinic, mate. How you going?
I'm okay, thank you.
That's the way. Now, Billy's woken up from his anaesthetic and he's doing really well.
Excellent. He's already running around chasing golf balls.
Not quite golf balls just yet. That's further down the track, but
okay.
For a few hours at least.
Okay, great. So operational went fine.
Yep.
No dramas. Excellent.
Yep. So everything's a-okay, and he'll be right to go home tomorrow. So are you going to be okay being without him for a night?
I'll survive.
Fair enough. All right, mate. You hang in there, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, Chris. Thanks, mate. Bye.
Okay, cheers, buddy. Bye.
Hi, I'm okay. Here to pick up Billy.
Little Billy, all right? Won't be a minute. I'll just go grab it for you.
That'd be great.
Righto, Billy. It's time to go, buddy. It's time to go. Okay, let's go. Your dad's waiting at the front, and he's going to be very happy to see you. Let's go. Wait, go.
Look at this.
that's where we did the operation. So a pretty small little scar there. We've gone in there and removed that little section of bone that was dying. But he's been great. You know, a little bit sooky at times, I've got to say, but he's been a good patient.
Fantastic.
He's missed you too. All you need to do is just these medications here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just to take away any inflammation that's going to remain from that operation. Okay.
And what about exercise?
Yeah, look, I hate to say it, Billy, but no chasing of golf balls for at least 3 weeks. No. And just gentle walks. Gentle walks are fine. If you start to play a game, then his thrill of the chase will take over and he'll forget about that.
Yeah.
And we don't need to do that. We actually want him to know that he's got that wound there. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Mate, no worries at all.
Okay.
All right, all the best with him.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, buddy. Yeah, mate, you take care.
I'm really glad that's over, and I'm glad the result seems really good as well, and Billy can get on with his life now, and having him running around with his friends in a few weeks. Really looking forward to getting home, and have a special treat for him, I think. Hey, what do you think? Hey, I'm going to go home? Sleep in your own bed tonight too, hey?
If you guys loved that video, great. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel below. That way.